Nice. We are back once again, friends.
Shit.
Yes.
Oh, my God, we're here.
Yes, sir. The tavern. We're back at the tavern. Oh, Connor, you're not even. Wait, what's happening? Oh, I renamed
I didn't do it.
There we go. Hold on. Wait. What?
Look, I don't know, baby. You do you.
Oh, there we go.
What was happening?
No. So it's because I labeled them wrong because we changed nicknames. Speaking of which, kind of an announcement, because we're switching nicknames in the Discord for the next arc. The camera overlays, because they're based in alphabetical order, they'll switch. And so I changed them, but now you're under Logan's camera, and so I hid your camera, or hid Logan's camera, but now you're Logan's camera. So yeah, that's why you're gone. So now you're back. Anyway, yeah, welcome to the tavern once again, friends. Yes, just some technical difficulties, but whatever. Tonight we will be continuing unearthing this Arcana. And I'm actually really excited for tonight because we will be getting to a couple of the classes that I really wanted to check out. Rogue being one of them, which ironically enough, we're just actually going to skip right to. We're just going to go jump right into Rogue so that we can really dive into that. And we're probably actually going to use some of the playtest material for Rogue for this next arc anyway. So that's another reason why we're kind of getting into it first. And then we'll probably shoot back up to the top. I know Corey, if you're here, we'll be getting to Cleric, and then we will just keep on keeping on. So, cool. Let me change the music to something different.
One thing I will say, just looking at the Rogue already, because normally I will just go past design notes, Rogue updates, because updates normally don't matter. One thing I do like they point out here in this is it says for Rogue subclasses, levels will not match the level progression of the 2014 Rogue, so you know what we're all familiar with, ensuring compatibility with subclasses already in print. So theoretically, everything we're reading here, you can pick your favorite Rogue subclass from whatever edition of D&D and plug it into this, and it should work just fine. That's how it's intended to be used. It's still UA, but I like that.
I like that too. That's pretty neat. Alrighty, let's do it. So real quick, first things first, look at the sick table. I don't think sneak attack is literally, these tables usually don't change very much, and it doesn't look like anything is different, so.
Oh, but little things like weapon mastery being there, but aside from that.
Well, I'm even talking about like the thing, like the sneak attack.
Yeah.
Obviously, when they change the class features, that's obviously different, but, so that's the same. Alright, let's just jump right into this. Not creating a rogue. Okay, expertise, level 1. You gain expertise in 2 of your skill proficiencies of your choice. Sleight of hand and stealth are iconic choices for a rogue if you have proficiency in them. Oh, interesting. They added a little disclaimer, kind of like, hey, this if you're new, this is what usually happens. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a little bit more streamlined. We're just like, hey, by the way, if you don't know what's going on, pick these 2. Like, you don't have to, but like, pick these.
Exactly. Oh, interesting. Okay, I kind of like this already. So expertise, unless I'm gonna make sure I'm not speaking on my ass here. No, okay. So instead of expertise saying at first level, instead of first level saying expertise, and then it wraps in, hey, at 6th level you get this again. Instead, it's listed at 6th level. So instead of it like smashing in together, because I was about to say I thought they got rid of 6th level expertise, but instead they actually just moved it into its own category,
restate it,
which is nice.
It's much more clear to read. You know what's happening level by level.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of you being like, oh, it needs to like read back and check, and yeah, exactly. So, cool. So sneak attack, you know how to turn a subtle attack into a deadly one. Once per turn, you can deal extra damage to one creature you hit with an attack roll if you're attacking with a finesse or ranged weapon, and if at least one of the following requirements is met. Advantage, you have advantage on the attack roll. Ally adjacent to target, at least one of your allies is within 5 feet of the target. The ally doesn't have the incapacity condition, and you don't have disadvantage on the attack roll.
Right.
To determine this, same stuff, right? You just roll the thing. So I'm curious. That seems be about the same, right?
Yeah, it seems about the same.
Once per turn.
I think it might book out just in case, but I think that's just as written.
Once per turn, you can deal an extra 1d6 up to one creature hit with an attack if you have advantage on the attack roll. The attack must use a finesse or ranged weapon. You don't need advantage on the attack roll if another enemy of the target is within 5 feet. You know what's weird about the 2014? It says you don't need advantage in the attack roll if another enemy of the target is. Oh, if another enemy of the target is within 5 feet, that enemy. Oh, that's just weird verbiage.
Yep.
So this one says at least one of your allies is within 5 feet of the target. So a little bit different verbiage there. So in the old edition, it says if an enemy of that creature. Now it says if one of your allies. So it's a little bit different there. And then...
yeah, I like that. I think it's normally how people run it anyways. Ally, not enemy.
Yeah.
So that way you're not running into a horde and just getting sneak attack on sneak attack on sneak attack.
Yeah. That makes sense.
As much fun as it'd be to beat the absolute shit out of kobolds.
So that's the same Thieves' Cant. You picked up various languages in the communities where you applied your roguish talent. You know Thieves' Cant and one other language of your choice, which you choose from the standard languages and rare languages table. Is that different?
1 second. I believe Thieves' Cant is normally just Thieves' Cant. It has no additional languages.
Yeah, and you know what
also,
go ahead.
In the 2014, it's very descriptive on what it's saying.
Yeah.
You understand a lot of secret signs, symbols used to convey short, simple messages. And here it's like, Thieves' Cant. Also, other language, another local language.
That's interesting. So you picked up various languages in the communities where you applied your roguish talents. So that is saying that kind of ropes in why you get another language. But I liked that it's shorter, but I don't like that it got rid of all of it. I think it's good that they explain Thieves' Cant in some way. I think that obviously I guess the old Thieves' Cant, them just like hard selling it as this like very unique jargon, blah blah blah. Like, it's very elaborate in the old edition. I wish they would have maybe made it simple, but then added that in the new edition. So it's like they explained it a little bit, maybe summed it up a little bit better. Instead of 5 paragraphs, it's like 3 sentences, and then and then you get a new language.
I mean, I'm looking at the Thieves' Cant right here. One of my favorite things it says is, well, also, I think Thieves' Cant does not come up very often in campaigns as a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's why it's kind of like, oh, here's Thieves' Cant, however it is for you, then here's another language. Yeah. Whereas I think, like, there's a very ambitious outline for Thieves' Cant in the 14 version. Because it says, like, it takes 4 times longer to convey such a message as it does to speak the same idea plainly. You understand a bunch of secret signs. It's seemingly normal conversations, but it's jumbled code. It's like, ooh, there's a whole lot going on here. And this one's like, yeah, you could do that. You're not going to, though, so I guess you might know Elvish. Like...
Oh, yeah. They're like, anyway. No, and I agree. And I think that, and I guess in some way, the words Thieves' Cant in some way kind of are self-descriptive. So, like, instead of them giving you all this weird context, the DM can just do whatever they want with that. So yeah. I think it's a good.
I think an example would be nice.
Yeah.
Some example like they have in this book would be nice. Only because this. I think most people looking at these books right now are people like you and I who are very familiar with D&D.
Exactly.
At least familiar with 5th edition. And I think if this ever came to a published book and a new DM picked it up, they'd be like, "What's Thieves' Cant?
Mm-hmm.
What can they not do?" And then there's just that. To figure out.
I think there should be a couple sentences of descriptors, but yeah, I agree. Almost there. They almost had it. They're getting there with that. Web mastery.
Yeah.
Same shit. Go ahead, and if you want to hit me with cunning action.
I'll hit you with a cunning action. Your quick thinking and agility allow you to move and act quickly on your turn. You can take one of the following actions as a bonus action: dash, disengage, or hide. Double checking here. Yeah, I think it's written almost exactly the same.
Well, it's interesting because in this one, in the old one, it says you can take a bonus action on each of your turns in combat. It's weird that that's an extra sentence they added. Like, you couldn't take a bonus action like in general. This action can be used. Here it is. Yeah, because I feel like bonus actions are a little more ingrained now as a system. So, but yeah, same thing. Level 3, Rogue subclass.
Yep.
And along with that, you get Steady Aim.
Which I like Steady Aim a lot. As a bonus action, you give yourself advantage on your next attack roll on your next attack roll on the current turn. I added the word "or" there. It does not exist. You can use this feature only if you haven't moved. during this turn, and after you use it, your speed is 0. So pretty much you are committing to not moving for your attack. You're not moving. You're not using your bonus action for anything else aside from giving yourself advantage. Right. I like it because you don't use it every combat. Like, this is a situational thing, but it's a really good option to have because obviously advantage for rogues is huge.
Yeah, and I feel like this is also a really good way to bridge the gap too, because if say maybe you're starting out across a field or something, or wherever your combat starts, maybe you don't have an ally that isn't adjacent to an enemy. However, okay, I'm kind of mixed about steady aim, only because it kind of gets rid of the agency, or not agency, but kind of the it streamlines the process, which can be really good, and I like that. But I also feel like, I mean, in some ways, cutting action is what's supposed to bridge the gap between you not having advantage and then you getting it. Because if you can use that bonus action to hide, you have to use the terrain. You hide then with your hidden, and if your stealth is high enough, which generally it is, you're a rogue, then with that you'll get advantage. So that it's kind of almost like a little bit more of a step process, and you have to, as a rogue in 2014 edition, you'd have to almost like maneuver yourself to then get that massive amounts of damage, that bonus damage, which I kind of liked. This in a way kind of just seems to like get rid of that whole like, oh, I gotta sneak around or use the environment. This seems like, oh, hey, I'm just gonna use my bonus action instead of hiding. I'm just gonna just give myself advantage and sneak attack.
I like the language of it because I also think rogues, as you're describing, shine from moving, being very mobile. And this is like, hey, plant. Like, you're committing to a whole turn of just like, I'm gonna sit here, I'm just gonna line up my shot. All 6 seconds of combat, because you're using your bonus action and your movement, essentially.
I guess that's a good point,
that's gone. And you're taking it, you're like, I'm sniping, or like, because I brought it up before we started streaming, like, oh, this works in melee, that's kind of neat. But now I'm just imagining a melee just sitting there with a knife, just like...
Yeah.
Just kidding. And then missing because he got like a fucking 8 and a 6 on your roll.
And that's also a good point too. Is like advantage obviously doesn't mean guaranteed success. That means that you just have advantage. So you have a higher chance of hitting, which is cool.
Right.
And I guess like that is a big thing too. Is your speed is 0. And so I think it can in a way can take away from like what I was saying earlier when it came to like rogues having to rely on that cutting action. But I think it opens up more options. It does streamline some certain things. Because I mean, if you're in an open room with nothing to hide against, it kind of sucks as a rogue if they're like, haha, you don't get your sneak attack unless one of your homies rolls up. But it just depends on your party dynamic and how easy that is for something that occurs. So,
right, no,
I think
cool.
It's
another option for rogue. It's like it's not something you would want to take every combat, but it's a thing that's there that they could use.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. I think it's pretty cool. So, yep. Level 4 is the ability score improvement. Let's see.
I like it.
1 second.
Oh, you're fine. I'm going to jump into Cunning Strike if you're ready for that.
Do it.
This is in my mind the biggest thing for rogues here.
Do it.
At 5th level, you have developed cunning ways to use your sneak attack. When you deal sneak attack damage, you can add one of the following Cunning Strike effects. Each effect has a die cost, which is the number of sneak attack damage dice you must forego to add the effect. You must remove the die before rolling, and the effect occurs immediately after the attack's damage is dealt. For example, if you have the poison effect, remove a 1d6 from the sneak attack's damage before rolling. If a Cunning Strike requires a saving throw, the DC, which... by the way, make sure you write these down on your character sheets before having to scroll all the way back here to find this math.
Yeah.
Do it. Just by the way, just as somebody who's waited for about 15 minutes for somebody to find their spell save DC. DC equals 8 plus your proficiency plus your dex, so it's going to be really high anyway.
Right.
But all these costing, at this level you have 3d6, so you just sacrifice it, you bring it down to 2d6 sneak attack, for the benefit of getting something like Disarm. The target must succeed a dexterity saving throw, or it drops one item of your choice that it's holding. Poison. You add a toxin to your strike, forcing the target to make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the target has a poison condition for 1 minute, which, as we all know, being poisoned mechanically fucking sucks. You have disadvantage on everything.
Yeah, literally.
At the end of each of its turn, the poison target will repeat the save, ending this effect on itself on a success. To use this effect, you must have a poisoner's kit on your person. So that one does have a prerequisite. At least Like, at least meet us halfway and at least own the fucking thing that's letting you do this. A trip, if the target is large or smaller, it must succeed a dexterity saving throw. I like that it's not like you're not able to do this to a Colossus. Like, this is a good thing you have, but trip is not going to work on everything.
Yeah.
Withdraw immediately after the attack. You move up to half your speed without provoking opportunity attacks. That was actually, I like withdraw too. Withdraw, I think all these are good.
All right. First of all, Corey, welcome in, baby. Good to see you, buddy.
Corey, get out of here.
Nah, Corey, we're getting the clerics for you, baby.
Yeah, we will.
No. So I actually had like a 30-minute long spiel with Logan because we were looking at this because I was talking to him. He wasn't going to be here for this Tavernside, so I was like, okay, let's talk about it.
He still isn't,
and he's still not.
Yeah.
I really like this. I think that this is super, 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 super dope for a martial class as the rogue. It kind of makes it so that their combat is more diverse. It makes it so they have options. It's like maneuvers for fighter is like this is like for rogue, right? I really like that. The only thing is though, and it's the issues that I was kind of I was dealing with or thinking about was just the fact that this is obviously better than maneuvers because sneak attack damage is an endless resource. You never like if you have sneak attack, you're getting your 5d6, and that's an endless resource that you get every single turn if you can apply it, and then you can use one of these. Now, granted, you can only use one of these. However, that's still pretty insane. One thing I was also thinking about too, just now actually, was that like you were saying, you just mentioned it, that your DC will be incredibly high. Yeah. Because unlike a lot of other classes, where like, hey, spell save DC for your cleric, you need to have high wisdom. Because that's obviously your spell, you use that for spells, but then you also, to have a well-rounded character, need to have other stats. Like if you want to be able to attack with the cleric, you need strength or dex or con. You have to kind of split your stats. For this to require dexterity, I feel like is almost just like dex is integrated into the rogue. Most rogues starting is probably 16 dex plus, right? Yeah. And so at base, you're already hitting at well, if you're starting like super low level with proficiency 2, then you're...
It needs to be level 5 is when you get this.
I guess that's true. So level 5, I'm pretty sure level 5, your prof is then 3. So then at base, you're already at 11 plus probably 3 because you're at 16. So you're already sitting at a 14 dex save. Just like without you even having to necessarily consider your stat like lineup. So that's really strong. Like it just takes things that the rogue is already really good at and then just makes it, puts it into your DC mod, which is really good. My biggest thing is I think the cost of these need to be adjusted. I think that all of them being 1d6, obviously if you're at 5th level, you only have 3d6 sneak attack, right? However, as you ramp up and as you get more, then you will have obviously more sneak attack damage. And I do not think a creature being poisoned necessarily obviously you can fail to save, but if your DC is super fucking high, then
depending on the creature too.
Exactly. Then if you poison it, then it's now like getting absolutely soaked of all of its ability, like with its weapon attacks, disadvantage and everything. And then the thing is too is it saves, guess what? I'm poisoned again. And you can just keep poisoning it over and over and over. So I think that the cost for a lot of these should be up. I think disarm 1d6 fine. 1d6 is fine. I think poison should be like up there at 2d6, 3d6. I think trip should be up to 2d6 only because to cause a creature to be prone makes it so any melee attack is advantage. So if your high ass DC, which you already have built into your class, isn't passed, they're just falling on the ground. And then even withdraw, I'd say is pretty cool. I would say you could leave that probably at 1d6. But my biggest thing is I think that the cost, if the cost could be less if the sneak attack was a resource that like diminished. You know what I'm saying? Like going back to what I was saying.
Yeah, exactly.
But the fact that this is every single time you have sneak attack and you're only getting rid of 1 to 6 damage to poison a creature for a minute, like that's insane.
Yeah, I almost think Cunning Strike should have its own separate resource.
Yes, I agree.
You have maybe not off proficiency because that's very limiting, and I think what they're trying to do with this, and I appreciate it, is make it so the rogue has something else to do aside from doing a lot of damage.
Right.
Which I appreciate. There's like you're trading off a lot of damage to do it. Like you're trading off some of the damage, which, as we all know, as people who just love putting numbers on the board, you know, I think there's a certain part of like player mentality that it takes a special type of player to look at a situation and go, look, I could just dump dice on this motherfucker right now, or yeah, I'm gonna try disarm him. You know, like I appreciate that option. But also, I feel like there should be almost something like a superiority die type system.
Right.
Or something, maybe not a whole new system, but tie it to something with the rogue, where it has these equal to its even the rogue level. You know, something that's going to scale quickly. You know,
right.
It's going to make it so you can use it pretty much, like you're not going to see the floor of this that often, but it's there and it's like you're aware of a resource scarcity.
Yeah. I agree. I think that'd be a good. I think that either doing that, if you wanted to leave them at base 1d6, or maybe like, you know, how maneuvers are for a fighter, it's one of your superiority die, and you have a resource for that, or you just up these costs. Because I think that if you're going to be doing something, I would say like, you know, game changing, I think it should definitely cost you some damage. Because it says one a turn, right? When you deal sneak attack damage, you can add one of the following cunning strike effects, right? So you can literally disarm a creature, and I think the biggest thing is like, you think about it like, okay, the rogue is doing this to a creature. That creature now has to go through the entire rest of the initiative order until it goes again to then recover from whatever it is, right? Because the thing with disarm too, that could be a shield, -2 AC right there for free, basically.
Yeah, absolutely, and you should do it.
Yeah, and so I think that this is a super cool, love this mechanic. I think that is awesome. And I think that in some ways, though, in my mind, it's like, if you're going to add it to the rogue, why aren't you not going to add maneuvers base for fighter? I'm going to never forgive them for that. But
I forgave them immediately.
But I love this a lot. And also, cool thing, too, we can maybe scroll down a little bit into some of the rogue subclasses, because your subclass does add cunning strike options.
Oh, good. I was going to say, this doesn't feel very fleshed out, but that is really good to hear.
Yeah, so this is just base, and then once your subclass will dictate additional ones, which we can actually look at too. But that's the thing too, is the subclass ones that will add to this. Those I've noticed, and we can get into that when we get down there.
Cost.
But they have like 3d6 and stuff like that. But to me, I think the first thing that I will do, and I think just for your knowledge, Connor, when we do this upcoming arc, I think I will increase the cost for these and see how that pans out. And then then go from there.
Gotcha.
And then I don't know if a Poisoner's Kit has a number of uses, but I would also add that to a Poisoner's Kit.
I believe it does, but yeah, if it doesn't, it should.
Yeah.
Like, there should be a reason to buy a Poisoner's Kit and then have to at some point later buy a new Poisoner's Kit, or more poison to use in the Poisoner's Kit, you know.
Exactly. Or you could even reword this and say, to use this effect, you must have a poison on your person, not even a Poisoner's Kit. Because in my mind, a Poisoner's Kit is like how you make potion, or how you like make poison and stuff.
Yes.
And then you have a poison vial that you apply.
One thing I was gonna say, which is another symptom of just playing games like Baldur's Gate, is poison. Like, it doesn't come up that often in D&D. At least when we play, it doesn't come up that often. But like, there's no reason somebody can't buy a poison Coda Blade with poison.
Right.
You know, so the fighter could swing into a poison condition. The rogue could do this without using these abilities here, but like before the fight, you know, like, I'm gonna keep that one poison dagger on me type thing.
Yeah.
But then that missed. All right, so instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna forego a d6 and then just poison now in it. God.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, I imagine, obviously, with this, you would have something that was like, it has like a scabbard or something that just like sloppy wet with poison. He just like puts it in real quick.
Man pulls
it
out
just comes in neon green.
Yeah, exactly. You pour it into your shit, and you're like, all right, cool, forever coated.
Whole 6 seconds of just pouring poison on it.
Yeah. I like what they're doing with this. I just think there needs to be a little bit of tweaking, and then I think we'll be good. I think that'd be really cool. I just think the biggest issue here is that the resource is infinite, which, you know, I would say, ironically enough, I would say like Most
Okay.
every single ability in D&D in some capacity has a limit to use besides like the attack action. Other than that, this one is the other one that has infinite use, literally.
I will say, only because it came to mind as I was reading these, the only other one I believe has no limit, or at least I have not yet found the limit, and maybe this book gets into it, is weapon mastery. Like your actual mastery ability.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And all I can think of is using my mastery ability with my cunning strike ability, like on like what kind of combinations are you able to make up there, just depending on what type of weapons you're using or enabling. So you might be hitting somebody, I'm going to disarm him, but I'm also using like a pushing it. Well, depending on the weapon type, you're probably just doing something like to give yourself advantage on the next attack or whatever, you know, because you haven't used a finesse weapon or a light weapon. But
well, then also like this is another thing too is you also go back to steady aim, right? And steady aim just mean you could literally do this. Hold on, what does it say here? You could all. By the way, you also apply these effects with a ranged weapon too. So now your rogue is sitting in the back and just slinging fucking arrows and just
yeah. You think I'm
crippling.
disarming somebody by putting myself in danger? No, I'm shooting him in the hand.
Right, and that's kind of also going back to the steady aim. Like I feel like cunning strike is super cool. But if you were to still have that kind of bridge process of cunning action where like the rogue would need to hide or an ally needs to be adjacent, like there's that a little bit of a bridge between the rogue having to like becoming super powerful, right? Because there's something that needs to happen at least before that would need to happen for you to be able to get your sneak attack to then be able to pour damage or do this. But now it's just like, oh, I'm gonna stand here, I'm gonna use my bonus action to steady aim, and I'm just gonna poison this fucker, or I'm gonna trip him, or I'm gonna, you know, and then it's like it just seems like they're really like, all of these things are compiling to make the rogue insanely fucking good, which it already really was.
Yeah.
I think that the rogue, like, when it came to actual damage, obviously I understand that the rogue, you know, can be kind of boring play because you're just like, oh, sitting here just doing sneak attack, and it's like that's cool, but you know, be able to do these maneuvers is dope. We just need to find a balance between everything, because now I just feel like the rogues is getting advantage on every attack if they wanted. They can poison your creatures, they can fucking trip, they can. It's like holy shit. So
yeah. They could. They definitely. They have the option to do a lot, and I think it's a good step in the right direction for the rogue. I think everything to make a character that's very linear branch out a little bit is good.
Yes,
because I think I was just thinking the masteries, because really all they can use is a finesse weapon or a ranged weapon, like to get anything with the cunning strike.
Right.
Like, okay. Well, those, if I recall, the masteries were quite limited, just the type of weapons. So like, okay, so that mechanic is good and the rogue's gonna use it, but it's not a ton. Here's this whole other list of things.
Yeah. All right, I think we beat the shit out of that. So I think we can move on here. Uncanny dodge: when an attacker that you can see hits you with an attack roll, you can use your reaction to half the attacker's damage against you. Round down. That is pretty sure verbatim, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Expertise, as we were just saying, reiterated again at level 6,
which I do like. I like that you can just go through the book and you can find your stuff. Level 7, evasion. You can nimbly dodge out of the way of a certain danger. You're subjugated to an effect that allows you to make a dexterity saving throw to take only half damage. You instead take no damage if you succeed on the saving throw, and only half damage if you fail. You can't use this feature if you have the incapacitated condition. Sounds like the exact
really
same.
Good, iconic rogue dodging a planet. I'm taking no damage.
Yeah. Let's hold on actually real quick. Okay, it does say dexterity saving throw. Okay, also real quick, since we're talking about the beef of the rogues now, also fun fact, reliable talent's now level 7. Reliable talent where you refine your talents until they approach perfection. Whenever you make an ability check that uses one of your skill or tool proficiencies, you treat a d20 roll of 9 or lower as a 10 at level 7.
Yeah, it was level 11.
Yes, that's fucking insane.
Honestly, this might be controversial. I think reliable talent is not good. It's like, it keeps you from rolling really bad, but it's not going to make you pass rolls you shouldn't pass, in my mind.
I don't know. Because in my opinion, because this is the thing though, is that whenever you make an ability check that uses your proficiency, so baseline, you're already getting a bonus because you're proficient in it. So baseline 10, and if you're level, well, this is level 7, so you're level 7, you have +3. So baseline, you're rolling a 13.
Mm-hmm.
So then plus, I guess if you roll a 1, yeah. But the thing with that well, actually, it doesn't even matter because you don't roll a 1. So baseline,
I I will say, book like as
13
written, D&D
cents.
does not do critical failures on anything.
I think
So like this is assuming you're not doing a critical failure. However, I think most people would supersede this with a critical failure.
with a critical failure for sure. I'm just saying that I'm just saying if you roll a 9 or below, you're basically getting a base you can't roll lower than a 10. Like that in of itself is cool in the sense of like the roll. But if it's saying you can't roll lower than a 10, then you're 10 plus your proficiency at level 7, which would be 13, and then if you're proficient then you're adding your other stuff too. So they say your acrobatics is a +4. Now you can't get lower than a 17 on acrobatics.
Yeah.
That to me is crazy.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
It's really good.
I think it's a boring thing.
Oh,
I don't like reliable talent.
100%. I agree.
I think it's fine. I guess fine, but it's just like, oh, here's like a whole mechanic of the game that you don't have to worry about as much. I think I think reliable talent is really just for games where you're having to roll very mundane rolls, and then it just is a reliable talent. You know, like if the DC is 12, they're gonna pass.
Right.
You know, like you roll for it, you know, because that's the fun of it. But like they're gonna pass, and that's a very consistent thing. I think the fun of D&D and the rogue kind of takes away from it. It's why I also don't like the lucky feat as much as, oh, you failed. Okay, that's part of the story too. Like go ahead and fail. That you're really good at this and you suck at this current thing. I mean, it can take you out of the fun, but in my mind, it shouldn't.
Well, and I think it's interesting too because, like you're saying, it's weird that they put it on a rogue when the rogue already gets 4 expertise things. So it's already a class that is doubling, literally your proficiency. It's already making most of any stat that you choose for expertise like a plus like 5 or 6 base. You know, and that's already base. And so I just think it's interesting that they stack so many of these and they smash them to make a freaking OP sandwich for the rogue, especially since they dropped it down to level 7. I wouldn't be surprised if in the final edition they bring it back up. I think that is like the reliable talent in my mind would be like a level. I mean, I think level 11 might be even a little too low if you're really wanting to use this. But I 100% agree with you, Connor. I think that taking away fundamentally the chance of failure for rolls is kind of dumb, and it kind of retracts from the storytelling because you have skills, you have proficiency, but sometimes it's not you, it's the world that makes it so you fail. It's not like you go to climb up the side of a building and I'm a rogue, I'm always good at this. Well, maybe something breaks and you fall. Like you're not always going to be able to just scale the side of the building.
I think reliable talent is assuming like, hey, I'm a rogue and I've been doing this for years and I'm going to be good at this. Like, and this is kind of how I view things, especially people write backstories for level 1 characters, and it's hard not to find some way that it used to be like really high up in a gang, it used to be a knight in some order, you know, like level 1 people are really bad on paper, but like their backstories are always really impressive. So you're going to roll low. And in my mind, it's almost always not because like, you suck now. It's like, you can control you. Everything else in the world's a variable. You slip, you know, like things happen.
Exactly.
And I think, I don't like reliable talent in general. I think it's not busted. I think it's just boring.
I agree.
That's really it.
It's like an auto success, and then for that, it kind of just removes the agency and the breathing, you know, of the world. And so I agree 100%. It's stupid. I think it should be. I think if they're gonna put this in the rogue class, they should have it a little like 15+. But even then, I'm with Connor. I don't think that. I think it just removes too much of the actual fun and agency of rolling and the world interacting. A character interacting with the world. So, 8th level ability score improvement. Cool. 9th level sub. Oh wow, they get a lot of ability score improvements. What the hell is that? Is that more than normal?
I don't know if it's actually more. Let me double check real quick the chart, but I don't believe it's more.
Wow. Wait. 1,
8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dude, the rogue gets 6 ability score improvements.
Yeah, no, that's how it was in the.
I know.
That's how it is.
I was looking at that
the old book too.
What the? Dude, fuck the rogue. I hate rogue now. No.
The rogue's really good. A bunch of ability score improvements. A lot of martial classes do. It's on par. I think it's just below fighter. I like it. So it goes a subclass feature ability score improvement in a level 11. What is replacing the spot that reliable talent made vacant, going down to level 7. A level 11 is you can use up to 2 cunning strike effects when you deal sneak attack damage. No. I read a little ahead. You're not gonna be thrilled. Paying the die cost for each. So yeah, now you can poison remove a weapon at level 11. And at level 11, by the way, you have 6 sneak attack die. So you're still doing 46, then doing 2 effects, depending on your rolls, because you still have to roll for certain ones.
Right, but it's also, like we were saying before, infinite value or infinite resource. So like and that's another thing too, is if you have an infinite resource like they made for this, it gets rid of kind of the gamble of it. Like, oh, I really hope like if they succeed, it sucks more. If they fail, it's more. It's what's the word? It sucks more. It's better more. I don't know. It feels better because then there was a chance you used the resource, it paid off. Boom. Now it's like cool. But if it's like, oh, I'll just hit him. I'll hit him next turn. It's like, what the fuck? It's like. I
agree. I think there should be some battery to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
assault and battery are present, but like a physical resource battery.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go, just because I want to get to 14. So I'm just going to 12 is another ability score improvement. 13 subclass feature. 14 I love. I love everything in 14.
Devious strikes. Oh, I forgot. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's you have practiced new ways to use your sneak attack deviously. The following effects now are among your cunning strike options. So it's an expanded cunning strike options. These ones have much higher costs, and I like all these a lot better. For 2d6 with daze, the target must succeed on a Constitution saving throw, or it has the daze condition until the end of its next turn.
Nice.
Knockout costs 6d6, which is great because you're either using your damage or you're not. I like this one a lot. The target must succeed on a con save, or it has the unconscious condition for a minute or until it takes any damage. An unconscious target can repeat the save at the end of each of its turn, ending the effect on itself on a success. Obscure 3d6. You strike near the target's eyes. The target must succeed a dexterity saving throw or have the blinded condition. I like daze. I like obscure. They are really good conditions that come up in D&D. Knockout, I fucking love. Knockout's it's story rich. It's like, I want to do non-lethal damage, but I want to sneak attack. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to knock him out, and I'm not using any of the damage essentially because level 14 you still have some damage, but level 14 that's 76. You're gonna if you fail this, you're gonna have 1d6 of damage. And knockout as a status condition, I'll say, is not that bad because they get to make it every one of their turns if it's in a combat setting.
Unconscious is not bad. You got to repeat the save at the end of each of your turns. But unconscious, you like if they take any damage. Like, it says it has the unconscious condition for 1 minute, so it doesn't even have to make the save. It just
the unconscious target can repeat the save at the end of each of its turns.
Oh, that's weird. That okay.
Yeah, it's not an auto hit. They're fucked. It's not like banish.
I mean, I don't like this. I personally don't like it. I don't personally like it, only because I feel like you can literally like this.
14.
This is the target. You're saying that literally a rogue could knock out an ancient red dragon if it rolled shittily. There's no condition as to what it is.
Yeah, there is no. Well, I'm sure there's certain things that are immune to the knocked out condition or the unconscious condition.
No, but I don't think anything's immune to the unconscious condition because unconscious is what happens when you hit 0 hit points.
I think constructs and things like that might have conditions. I don't know. I would rule like a construct can't be knocked out. Well, maybe. No, if it doesn't say on the paper, I'd probably make some ruling like you hit something, it short circuits or whatever. I think, but the thing is, it's level 14, dude. And if you put this up against spells at level 14, and let me just since it's here, see what the wizards have access to. I think they're up at 7 at that point. I don't mean to be taking this much time.
Well, I also
at level 14. Oh, that's Arcane Trickster. Arcane Trickster. You have level 7. You have a level 7 spell. Level 7's fucking bonkers. It's good, but like I think again, a battery's good. Like just shooting for the make or break knockout is a lot, but I like Obscure and I like Daze mainly because they're both good effects that end at the end of the target's turn.
Right,
you could try to like recap it, but
So, but this is another thing too. Is I'm pretty sure Dazed is similar. I don't know what Dazed is necessarily, but this is the thing: is I don't like these at the current circumstance because literally, going back to what we were saying, infinite resource. They can literally knock out a creature every single turn.
They could knock out a creature. Yes.
They could. But this goes back to the con save, and if you're a level 14 dex, if you're level 14 with the amount of ability score improvements, your dexterity is baseline going to be 5, because I don't know why you wouldn't have your dex at 20, and then your proficiency I think at 14 is going to be plus 5, so you're already looking at 9. So what is it? 8 plus dex, so that'd be 5. Yeah, you're already looking at like 17, 18 for your saving throw. Constitution saving throw.
Right.
I don't know. I think like I said, I really like this idea. I really like certain things about. I really like that they're expanding the rogue and their martial class. I just think that some of this stuff, like, yes, you're comparing it to like spells and stuff, but spells is a resource that you expend and you can and you're using, right? And I would say I don't even say like. There are very few spells that actually like fully incapacitate your target as this does. Because the second something goes unconscious, right? That it's till the next turn that they can make the saving throw. So that means that you could have your paladin pull up all their smites on an instant critical hit on an unconscious creature and just fucking annihilate them for a free.
Absolutely, you could.
For essentially free because there is no resource. There's no resource.
No resource, and this is the only thing, and I think that they were trying to do with Devious Strike and with the Cunning Strikes is you're using your because this is you hit. You already hit when you're choosing to do this. So you're taking your guaranteed damage, or for all these like I need to pass a con save. The con save's good, or the dex save for obscure. They're good, and you might have a high enough roll, but it still is like, am I taking the chance on getting this effect off, or I'm going to take the guaranteed damage?
Right.
I still think there should be a battery. Like, again, and in my mind, because I think it still should be good and they should have a lot, like, just tie it to the rogue level. Because level 14, you have 14 of these, depending on what kind of cost they're using. Maybe you're using, maybe using 3 of your available options for knockout or something. Like, so you have a lot of options with it, but, like, you're not going to blow all of them on one combat.
Yeah. Welcome in, Nathan. What's up, man? No, you're good, brother. We're just getting into these, how they're making the rogue the most fucking busted martial class. Confirmed.
It's not that bad.
It is. It is. Until, I say it's not that bad until you're like, bro, I got this boss fight. And the rogue goes, yeah, I'm going to knock your ass out. And then critical hit. And then, next turn it wakes up, knocking your ass out again. Now, I understand there is some sort of agency when it comes to, it's not guaranteed. But the thing is, that 14th level, if your rogue has 20 dex, and your proficiency is 5, your base DC is going to be 17, and unless you're speccing every single one of your monsters that have high ass con, then your ass is getting knocked the fuck out.
Well, I would not be that worried about it at level 14. Level 14, you have insane monsters, and you have a lot of mobs, and you have a lot of. I like this I like it as it's written. I think there should be a battery. Is the only thing I'd say. I like everything else about it.
What is the what's your sneak attack at 14th? Is it 6?
It's 7.
Okay, so you could do that one, and you can also do a second attack or a cunning action because you have 1 in the tank too. So you could do that and then poison them. So
as you should.
All right. Well, we can keep moving on. I do like the obscure. I think it's pretty cool. You can blind them. I really like the blinded and the deafened conditions. I think those are really unique conditions that they don't really come up all that much, but they affect combat in interesting ways. So I do like obscure. Daze also not a really big fan of because I think Daze is a different kind of version of stunned, which basically fucks a creature up a bunch. I think it's
only make an action. I don't think you can use a bonus action or reaction.
For Daze, I think Daze is actually a new condition. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it
wasn't in the player's handbook.
Yeah. Cool. All right, Slippery Mind. Your cunning mind is exceptionally difficult to control. You gain proficiency in wisdom and charisma saving throws. Holy shit. Cool. Ability score, your 15th feet as a rogue, then your subclass feature. I don't think the other like when we were going through Sorcerer and Wizard, they didn't like spell out subclass features.
They might have, but
I don't think they did.
Recall.
I really like how this kind of like in the base book no matter what book you're pulling from, it kind of tells you what your character is getting at that level. So then you can find the resource that tells you what you're getting instead of it just being like nothing's there, and then you have to go, oh, let me go look at my subclass. You know, I like how it just tells you.
I also like that there's something every level.
Oh yeah, there is really, huh? Damn, I think that's the only class that I've seen that. I don't think even the other.
I think it's
ones.
because it's the subclass features we're seeing here. There's a large part.
Oh,
of it. And
right,
also,
right,
I guess
right.
other. Yeah.
No, I think you're 100% right. Yeah. 18th, elusive. You are so evasive that attackers really gain the upper hand against you. No attack roll can have advantage against you unless you have the incapacitated condition. Okay. Ability score improvement.
I would.
Go ahead.
I would fucking modify that.
That's actually
I would
insane.
say if something had advantage on you in 2 circumstances, like if you use flanking rules and it flanked you, and then there's like if there was 2 ways that had advantage, I'd let elusive cancel out the first one, and maybe they get advantage because they have 2. I don't know. Maybe that's fine. Advantage is not that big of a deal. It's good to get, but it's not that big a deal. Fucking I'll let them have it. It's level 18, dude. I don't fucking.
I think
it's fine. It's fine.
I don't know. We'll get through all of this, and then I'll say what I have to say. 19 ability score improvement. 20th stroke of luck. You have an uncanny knack for succeeding when you need to. If you roll a d20 test, that's a really interesting. A d20 test. Okay, you can turn
Does
the
it
roll.
just mean whenever you roll a d20?
Yeah, literally. I don't know why they worded it like that. You can turn the roll into a 20. Once you've used this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. Okay, natural 20s. Natural 20s.
It's not a natural 20, I'll say. It is a roll of 20. So there still is, if they need to beat a DC 30, which at level 20 is not wild, then they also need to have some modifiers to back it up.
Yeah, but
I still don't love it.
That's still like a basically nat success. I mean, obviously, like in my opinion, you're only doing that if a DM's like, yeah, go ahead and roll, like fuck it, and their DC's 35. That makes it so you can basically do it if you want to. Nathan says, while yeah, you can knock them out with your sneak attack every turn, you pretty much have to forego your damage for a likely much less likely roll as well as needing to hit.
I agree with that. The amount of damage you're having to forego for a lot of things.
So Logan did bring up a really good point, and this is the only thing that I can really I would say in some realm of balancing for the rogue is they only get 1 attack. Yeah. Unless they dual wield, and then they get 2 attacks because they can use their bonus action.
They can only use their sneak attack on one of them, no matter what.
I know, but if you were to... Dude, this is a bop, huh? This song is just like... Oh, this song is called Clear the Tables. We're not clearing the tables, bro. We're having a good time. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so I was really excited for Rogue until... I think individually, when you think about this class, I think this is my take for this, and then Connor, you can have your take, and then we'll move on to Cleric, so Corey can eat that whipped cream up. Yeah, I said it. No, I think that the Rogue, when you're reading a lot of this stuff, it's cool and it works, or like it seems cool when you're reading the one ability, but I feel like when you actually go back and you realize all the shit that the Rogue has is when it starts to get to be a lot, right? They have 4 stats that they have expertise in. Then like you were saying, weapon mastery, that's obviously for every class, but then they have that extra attack option when it comes to their weapon mastery. They also have steady aim, which is basically free advantage bonus action. And then they have going through all of it, they have like 6 ability score improvements, so they can either be stacked out with their stats, or they can have a shit ton of feats, which diversifies them even farther. Cunning strikes, a lot of that stuff, really good options in combat. Uncanny dodge, you can just half an absolute monster of a hit. Evasion, dexterity saving throws, you're just taking 0 damage if your dex is high enough. Reliable talent, you're literally just not failing your proficiency fucking checks, skill checks, which is insane. You're getting a bunch more feats. And this is base. No subclass features. This is just, You're a fucking rogue. And then, yeah, you go to Devious Strikes where you're knocking people the fuck out. Slippery Mind, you now have 4. Saving throw proficiencies, because I'm pretty sure Rogue gets base, I think it's his intelligence and dex, right?
Yep.
So now you have 4. And then keep going on, you have Elusive, which is basically no one can have advantage, and then in Stroke of Luck, nat 20 generator. So I think that the Rogue is just it went from, they went from a DPS class and they were able to move, they were able to do a lot of cool things, to now they're just like, I mean, obviously don't spells. Like, that's the big thing, is when you compare it to other classes that get spells, they have more of a confines, right? But I would say most spells don't just say, hey, you're unconscious, enjoy. I would say there's very few spells that do that, and if they do that, there's usually some
there's plenty that do that, dude. Especially at level 14. There's ones that'll send them to hell, and then they're unconscious in hell.
Right, but
it's obviously generalization. But what I'll say is this: I think the rogue is stronger than it was in 5e. I don't think it's that much stronger. I think it just has more things it can do. Because I think you're listing a lot of the things that one rogue has: evasion, it had a lot of those things. Uncanny dodge, which are really good and are good often. But I think everything that comes with Cunning Strike, I think there should be some battery on it. But I like everything that's written. I think it's good. I think it's a good way to make Rogue not do really good at one thing, but make it really good at one thing and also have other options. Which honestly, disarm, poison, trip, withdraw, a lot of those other classes, especially subclasses, will do a lot better than that. Better than them, I'd say. And maybe a different rogue, as you said, some of them have their cunning actions in their subclasses too. So I'm interested to see different ways those will branch out. But I think the rogue is not busted any more than it used to be. I think it's busted just as it was, and then also it can do other things too. And I like that in general. I think like there's things that are boring, reliable talent and stroke of luck I don't care for. But they're there. Like, okay, like fucking stroke of luck isn't as good as some of the other ones are on paper. It just is boring.
Right, exactly. Nathan said, I feel like certain of these cunning actions should have a stipulation they have to use a melee weapon for them. Also, welcome in, Eric. Good to see you, buddy.
That's a good point, actually. I like that.
But I think
some of them should be weapon specific.
I was gonna say, because knockout, I think now that he says that, it just says the target must succeed. So yeah, you can shoot someone in the face with it and knock them out at 80.
Well, it says in the cunning strike thing, it says it doesn't have any restriction on how you attack them.
Exactly.
It has to be a sneak attack. So that the real stipulation is a sneak attack. So you have to have advantage or an ally adjacent to the target. That's it. And then of course finesse or ranged weapon.
Yeah.
I would say reading this, I don't think any of them need to have a weapon type restriction on them. However, I think it'd be cool to add that to it, just to have like, oh, this one's like really good, but you got to be up close, type thing. So you could like maybe there's one that's good, but you have a very ranged playstyle for your rogue. Or something.
Knockout could be within 5 feet or something, or whatever if you wanted to specify. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Or more of like a specific weapon type.
This is so. I think the thing that pisses me off a little bit is removing agency from anything is really frustrating to me. And this is the same for like when it comes to spells too. I'm not a fan of like stun condition, like monks fucking in their stunning strike, and like spells like hold person and stuff like that. Whatever. Anyway, still a lot of those spells that literally just forgo the agency of a creature and you can just obliterate them in some fashion kind of just is annoying to me. I will say I do really like knockout in the sense of RP. It gives you an actual like, hey, I want to knock this person out so that we can interrogate them, abduct them, whatever you're gonna do to them. I like that now as a rule that's written, I like that you can do that, because sometimes for me, the lines get a little weird when a creature wants to, I don't know, say you pull up on it, like you successfully stealth and you pull up on a sleeping creature. For me, I never understood why like people would be like, oh yeah, go ahead and roll the hit. Oh, also roll damage. I'm like, dude, literally if they're sleeping and they are unaware of your presence, there is nothing stopping you from stabbing them in the neck and killing them instantly. It's like that's where it's like for me it gets a little weird when it comes to RP and then combat. But so a couple of these I just personally I'm not a fan of when it comes to just agency being taken away, like fully negated because of certain things. But I do
What do you feel like being fully negated?
If you successfully, and like I mentioned before, knockout has no size restriction. If an ancient red dragon rolls a nat 1 on their Constitution saving throw, they are knocked out by a medium-sized creature.
Mm-hmm.
That makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, but again, I will say, obviously, as we mentioned, spells have a limit, but there's definitely spells that do something similar. Just now the rogue can do something. I think knockout is good. Maybe a restriction on it, sure. Like as we talked about, maybe it's a melee type thing. Maybe it's a type of like fucking couple times per short rest or whatever it might be. But I don't think knockout itself here is that bad. I think all these that I'm reading here, honestly, if I'm being totally honest, I like everything on Cunning Strike and Devious Strike. Just add a fucking small limit to it. So it's not every attack is an option.
Right.
To use some of these.
Yeah, and
it's Unearthed Arcana. These are made to be playtested too.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing for me is I'm baselining it also the fact that like it's an infinite resource. I think you add a cap to this, as with anything, right? If something has a cap to it, then it makes it balanced because it's like, oh, you can do this a couple times, or if it does happen, then you're like, okay, cool. Like, you know, there is some give to it. So I think, and I agree. Like, I'm not trying to sit here and shit all over the rogue. I I was really excited for this. I do want to playtest this in our next arc. I'm really excited to playtest some of this stuff. I just think that there does need to be a well. And I see, Nathan, what you're saying. Isn't that what Legendary Resistance are for? Okay. Mm-hmm. True, yes. Damage multiplied by 10 during RP. They do wake up if they take damage. It's just sleep isn't by this word. It's just sleep, isn't it, by this wording? What?
Oh, he's talking about if you were like, I think he's combining what you're saying with the knockout ability. So
wait, what?
I think he's combining what you're saying about sneaking up on somebody and stabbing them, because you're comparing it in some way to the knockout Devious Strike.
But because my thing is they do wake up if they take damage. Like that's the thing. They do. There is some give, but there's nothing that stops your rogue from doing it again on the next turn. And then you also bring this back to steady aim where they give themselves advantage. And so then you're just sitting there and you're just like the odds of them missing are just dwindled by the amount of stuff that they have. Additionally, they can also do 2 of these abilities as well. So
I will say you keep going back to steady aim, and I think steady aim is really not bad. It's giving you advantage on your next attack on the current turn. But I also like you're giving up a bonus action and your movement to do so to give yourself advantage on that attack, which for rogues is really fucking good because it's if you hit, you get your sneak attack. But I think just losing your bonus action, which could let you disengage, it can let you hide, it can let you dash, and then also all your fucking movement.
Yeah, but if you're using a ranged weapon that gives you 150 feet, you sit in the backfield, you don't need to move, you don't need your bonus action.
You should have to move. It's D&D combat. Things change all the time. You know, like it's like in my mind, steady aim is going to be really good in some situations and have absolutely no place in others.
True.
You know, I think because I think this is what I'm saying I really like about Rogue. Rogue is no longer just good at doing its one thing. It also has like other things to do that still aid it. It still is around the same ballpark, but it's just different ways to express it. Like using steady aim. Like maybe your rogue just like your steady aim just lets the sniper playstyle kind of shine without hiding. You know, steady aim. It doesn't say you're necessarily out in the open, but you know you're not hidden behind a fucking chair.
Yep, and I think that we will leave it there because we are free to have our opinions. I think that, I mean, good changes though. I think that obviously any expansions that they're making upon some of these classes and making them break out of the confines, some is always good. So, let's do this. Let's do Cleric next. I know that,
okay.
I know that we have Corey looking at this, and I'm actually really curious too as to what changes they have made, if any. Cleric is really good, so I feel like just base in some ways, so we'll see how they change it. First things first, let's see. I didn't even go up to this. Cleric. I will say this though, and I only think of this because of because I was scrolling through the old player's handbook to get to Cleric. I would say the rogue overhaul compared to the fighter overhaul is incredibly skewed. I would say the rogue got so much more than the fighter. when it comes to just
There's
as a yeah, with the Unearthed Arcana, I would say the fighter, it's like, oh cool, yeah, I can use second wind to add to my ability score, but that's like it. Really, they had like one other ability, I don't remember what it was, but like when it comes to the rogue, they're just like, yep, we're making rogue 4 times better. The fighter gets a little bit something extra on top, which kind of sucks, I guess, in a way. 4 fighters. Okay, so first things first, I do like that the channel divinity is on the table. Spells prepared. I really do enjoy that they're making the spells prepared a thing. Like, it's no longer all this math you have to do when it comes to all your stats. It's just like, here, you know this many spells a day, change them as you want. Right. I can't see any difference when it comes to spell slots per level. I think that's pretty much the same, right?
Yeah, I don't think there is any changes that I've seen for any classes.
Yeah. Biggest thing I will say I don't like for certain classes, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of the, and I would say even in the 2014 edition too, a lot of classes, they did have their subclass at their level, except for like Cleric, except for like, you know, Paladin, Warlock, or a Sorcerer, I think Warlock, a couple, like there's like onesies and twosies that weren't subclass at their level, but now they're making all of them at their level, and I think Cleric is one of those that I do not think that should be at their level. I think a Cleric, just as a class design, should have their subclass and like their, you know, what deity they're worshiping or whatever it is that they're gonna branch down at first level. I feel like that's a pretty big class choice, and it just seems weird to have it prolonged.
Right.
What do you think? No? Yes?
I can understand from a gameplay perspective. Everything happens from everybody at the same time. I think it's one of those things that subclass, like the flavor of it and such, like how it makes sense for the characters in the game or like your world or stuff. That's something that DM can kind of like just like, oh, what subclass would you like type thing. And maybe you decide that level 1, or maybe it. I don't know. For me, like subclasses, because I've played with people before, it's like, oh, I know what class I'm going to be once I hit level 3. Then you get to level 3, and they're like, fucking never mind. You know, like, not doing that no more.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it helps is, like, having something where everybody's getting their subclasses at the same time. Everybody should be leveling up at the same time anyway. I get it from a gameplay standpoint. It makes things smoother.
Okay. You want to hit us with a first level Divine Order?
Yeah, I was reading it, and I like it so far. It's just you have to dedicate yourself to one of the following secret rules. So you do have a polar choice here. Protector, train for battle. You gain martial weapon proficiency and heavy armor training. Mm-hmm. Then Thaumaturge. You know 1 extra cantrip from the Divine Spell list to your spellcasting feature for information on preparing spells. In addition, your mystical connection to the Divine gives you a bonus to intelligence, religion checks. This bonus equals your wisdom modifier, minimum of +1. So, pick Protector. No cantrip is worth not having heavy armor and weapon proficiency.
Yeah, that seems like you're making a choice. You know, you're either maybe choosing I'm gonna be melee or choosing I'm gonna be like spell. But I feel like they're very polarized, and yeah, one is blatantly better than the other.
Thaumaturge seems like you would only pick it for a role-playing reason.
Right.
Mechanically, Protector is much, much better.
Well, I also feel like there should be a couple options. I feel like just 2 is very like, hey, one or the other. It's like there's no like in between, or that seems kind of weird.
Like Thaumaturge and like something else, something goofy. It's like something like Fanatic or something. Like just throw some splash. I think there should always be 3 options for things like this.
Yes,
I think more is good.
I think it gives it a nice, well-rounded thing. I think one or the other always feels a little weird. Having 3 options, you know, whether it's like, oh, this. I think that just feels better when it comes to the options. For sure.
Oh, I agree.
Nathan, streamlining the traits across classes is nice, so there's less disparity in player power as you level or if you start at a higher level.
Do this back to the subclass coming online at 3rd.
At 3rd, yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like gameplay. I think what you were saying, Connor. It's like gameplay, cool, RP, and it just depends. Obviously, it just depends on the game you're trying to run or whoever's DMing or, you know, whoever your group of people are. But I feel like we like to do a little bit more RP based like stuff, and so I feel like it just for us it's a little bit or at least for me personally, I don't like it so much because I feel like Level 1 makes sense for cleric because you're obviously, to become a cleric, you're choosing to follow a deity of some sort. Whereas here,
Right.
in some ways, it almost makes it seem like you're having to ramp up to a certain point, which is kind of weird. But
not to be eternally contrarian, because I don't like to be, but the only other side of that coin I'd say is, like, I like the RP thought of it as, like, you have a deity you're following, because I don't think your subclass is like a deity specific thing. Life domain, it's like, it's different channels of divinity, I guess is how I do it.
Yeah, it's not like one specific deity, but it's like kind of the realm in which you're doing it, whether you're gonna be life, light, it's like what is the specialization of it?
Yeah, in my mind, like, having like the character level 1 and 2 trying to discover like how they're going to be more expressive of their divinity, of their like religion, and how they're servicing that, and having that be like a character thing very, very early on, where their subclass comes online, whereas a fighter might fall more into form with training, or like a wizard, like, it's like, well, time to dust off those old college books. By the way, I've been a diviner this whole time. Like shit like that. I think like it depends on, like, I understand, like, there's the thought of the cleric of being like, this is a cleric and his thing is very foundational to who he is. This is like, and he's grown up like this a while before level 1. And then there's also like the other side of it where if you wanted to lean into it, where you could be like, he doesn't fucking know it's gonna happen. It's like it's a different type of like divine awakening in the character.
Mm-hmm.
It could be. And they just make it so everyone at level 3, everybody wakes up one day and the fighter's like, I swing this a lot better. And the barbarian's like, I'm mad. And then I'm mad and there's lightning.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. I would say the only thing I could think of that, like, why I'm like, it's not too big of an issue. I feel like a lot of times, especially for our kind of D&D groups, we don't really start at first level anymore, only because like we've been playing for a while. So like that's where, like, for me, it's like, I don't really like that they're capping everything at or starting everything at 3rd like that. But also in the same token, it's like if we always start at 3rd or higher, it doesn't fucking matter. So like,
right,
so, but yeah, I think Divine Order. I think a 3rd option, but I don't even know what it'd be. But I think adding a 3rd option would be beneficial to just having that. I do like that though. I think it's kind of cool that there's a little bit more of a specialization. What's happening?
Yeah, and it's not a subclass thing. It's just like, just pick one. Like, here's 2 things, and then go ahead with your other 19 levels. Good luck.
Yep, pretty much. Spellcasting, same. It's literally the same shit. Channel Divinity. You gain Channel Divinity. You can use Channel Divinity twice. Oh, hold on. You start with two such effects: Divine Spark and Turn Undead. Each of which is described below. Each time you use your Channel Divinity, you choose which effect to create. Okay. You use Channel Divinity twice. You regain one expended use when you finish a short rest, and you regain all when you do a long. You gain additional uses when you reach certain cleric levels, as shown in the Channel Divinity column of the cleric table. Okay, so just real quick, Channel Divinity. You only got 1, right?
I don't believe so. No. When you first get Channel, yeah, you're right. At level 1, you only got 1. Then it goes to 2 at level 6.
Yeah, and this and Channel Divinity was you start with Turn Undead and then an effect to turn by your domain. But this one, obviously because subclass is at level 3 now, they give you Turn Undead and Divine Spark. And Divine Spark is as a magic action, you point your holy symbol at another creature you can see within 30 feet of yourself and focus divine energy at them. Roll 1d8 and add your wisdom modifier. You either restore hit points to the creature equal to that number or equal to that total, or force the creature to make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes necrotic or radiant damage equal to that total. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage rounded down. You roll an additional d8 when you reach certain cleric levels, 7th, 13th, 18th. Turn Undead.
Yeah, that's good.
As a magic action, you represent your holy symbol. Each undead within 30 feet of you must make a wisdom saving throw. If the creature fails the saving throw, it has the frightened and incapacitated condition for 1 minute. This effect ends early on the creature if it takes any damage you have. Yeah, okay.
It doesn't say they get a re-roll for the minute. They're frightened and incapacitated for a minute. That says that in the conditions. It probably says in the conditions they get a re-roll every turn.
Well, I feel like they usually do specify that at least. Oh, interesting. So, I mean, also in addition to that, it doesn't make the saving throw if it takes damage, it says. In the 2014, it says if it takes damage, it re-rolls or saves or automatic, whatever. That one, if they take, yeah, it says nothing. It is still 30 feet. Wow, yeah. And then it kind of specifies some things in there, but I do like Divine Spark. I think more options for Channel Divinity is cool. Hold on, real quick. Let's jump into third level. This third level, do they give you? I'm gonna shoot down to a subclass real quick just to see if they do give you a Channel Divinity option again. If they give you that option still, I would assume they would, right? It doesn't.
Nope.
Yeah, their life, the domains, I don't think give you a Channel Divinity anymore.
Maybe later down, but
I'm not seeing it at all. That's kind of dumb, right? Because if you go into the old edition, and
yeah, it was very subclass specific.
Yeah, Channel Divinity, Radiance of the Dawn, starting second level, you can blah blah. Yeah. That's really dumb. Unless maybe they just didn't want to write it out, and hopefully they return them. But like, I don't understand why they would add this kind of boo boo. Like, in comparison, this Channel Divinity Divine Spark is kind of shit tier compared to some of the cool, options. Hold on, did I miss it?
Maybe. I might be tired because I definitely looked at the level 9 ability Commune. I'm like, why would you need Commute as an ability?
Get in your Uber and go. Hold on. So as part of casting a prepared abjuration spell from the divine spell list, you can expend uses of your channel divinity to create a spell slot to use for casting.
Yes. I like that. It's flexible. It's not what Channel Divinity used to be, but you're able to use it in a different way.
Oh, man.
Yep. Actually, I'm looking at this a lot. Just as we're going, Trickery Domain level 3, you're able to make your duplicate. War Domain level 3. 1 second.
Okay, no, yeah, okay, it's just worded differently because in the other
Guided Strikes, Channel Divinity. Yeah, it's just written weird, man.
Yeah.
I think we both glanced completely over whatever it said, and we're like, dude, what the fuck? Why does it not?
Oh, thank God. Okay, well, I will say, this is like the first time I've seen the older edition. I like the way it's written now. I like how in the older edition it says Channel Divinity blip instead of it being third level, says a thing, and then in the actual rating it then says you can use your Channel Divinity. I like how it kind of gave you a preface so you could be like, oh, what is this? And you read it. Okay. Okay, dodged the bullet there because that was me really sad. I was like, why would they get rid of that? Jets? No, I like that though. I think Divine Spark is a cool kind of thing, like a last ditch effort. You can heal, if like you're all out of spells, and you can be like, oh, I say at the root of this of all this playtest and Unearthed Arcana and all this new stuff is the root of it is more options, which I'm really enjoying.
Yeah. That's what I like too.
Yeah, some of the options are kind of interesting. Like that sorcerer one where it's like you get 1 sorcery point. It's like, okay, or it's like times or divided by 5. What? What are you looking at?
1 minute. I'm excited for level 5. We're gonna spend a minute on that.
Okay.
When we get there.
Well, let's just keep going then. It's Cleric subclass, ability score improvement. All right, yeah, easy stuff. We're at 5. Go ahead, read it.
Yeah, well, it's with the Turn Undead a feature. When you can cause your Turn Undead feature to smite the Undying, and the math of it is what got me. Whenever you use your Turn Undead, you can roll a number of d8s equal to your Wisdom modifier, minimum of 1d8, and add the rolls together. Each Undead that fails its saving throw against that use of Turn Undead takes radiant damage equal to the roll's total. Not it's like the sleep spell where you got 40, then you roll however many d8s you get, which maybe at that point you have like 4d8. Wisdom is really high for these characters, so 4d8 isn't ludicrous, but you might, like, if there's a bunch of mobs, like zombies don't have a ton of hit points. Well, I guess zombies actually do, but like squishy undead.
yeah.
You could all right, fucking 8 of them are dead. Like.
And it also says this damage does not end the turn effect either.
Nope. It specifies that, which is kind of what we were looking at the Turn Undead thing. Yeah, no, they're still going to spend a minute frightened and incapacitated. you're still gonna spend a minute just you and like for one, we're sitting there like at level 14. The rogue's just like I knocked him out. We're like that's kind of a lot. And at level 5, I smited him. I burnt him half to death. And the fighter's walking up to him, beating him with the flat side of the sword just because he can. You know, just boom, boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom.
yeah.
I mean, of course, there's a lot of really high level undead, so this is not going to work for all of them. But especially the squishy ones.
Well,
and in a 30-foot area, that's pretty big. Within 30 feet of you, so a 60-foot area.
I like the Smite Undead too because I don't know unless it gets there later. I don't think it does. It gets rid of the Destroy Undead, and I like this more. I think it's more universal. It's just more universally applicable, right? Because Destroy Undead with challenge rating, it just gets destroyed, which is like kind of cool, but it's also like if it's a more powerful undead, then it doesn't really matter. Plus, on top of that, it can be very good. It has its pros and cons. I like this because it's just damage. You know?
It is damage. I'm curious. I don't think Turn Undead's broken, but I'm just curious on what they're frightened and incapacitated, and I'm curious if there's anything that breaks them out of that 1 minute.
Hold on. I'm gonna look up. Let's see.
Frightened. Frightened think they have to run away, but if they're incapacitated, I don't think they can.
Oh wait, hold on. Actually, speaking of which, unconscious. By the way, if you're going back to the rogue thing, it says inert. If you have the incapacitated and prone condition, and you drop whatever. Unconscious. Okay. While unconscious, you experience the following effects. You have the incapacitated and prone conditions, and you drop whatever you are holding. When this condition ends, you remain prone. Your speed is 0 and can't change. Attack rolls against you have advantage. Attack rolls. So, ranged everything. You automatically fail strength and dexterity saving throws. Critical hits. Any attack roll that hits you is a critical hit if the attacker is within 5 feet of you. And it says unaware. You are unaware of your surroundings. So that is all if you just get bonked on the head by a rogue.
Yes, absolutely. Or if you're an undead and get hit by the cleric.
No. That's unconscious. I haven't found incapacitated yet. I'm still looking.
Right. Incapacitated is you're unaware of your. I think you cannot take any actions or bonus actions.
Hold on.
I was just looking at conditions, but.
No, did you find? Did you find it in this version?
Yeah, though? It's 590 or 290, I should say. It's
no, in the Unearthed Arcana, because they might have changed it.
I did not, but they normally read them out. I will read it here though. An incapacitated creature can't take actions or reactions. They can take bonus actions. That's normal writing. They might have updated it, but I don't.
Incapacitated now says you can't take any action, bonus action, or reaction. So nothing.
So added action to it.
Your concentration is broken. You can't speak. If you are incapacitated when you roll initiative, you disadvantage on the roll. Holy shit, dude.
That makes sense because incapacitated, as it means in the English language, is pretty bad.
Well, shit. So essentially, you just make everything go brain dead, which is pretty insane.
Oh, dude, I was skeptical when you said clerics were really good. I'm just briefly reading as we're going through this. They get pretty good, and it's consistently good.
So Smite Undead, I like that. Subclass feature, cool. Blessed Strikes, Divine Power infuses you in battle. You gain one of the following options of your choice. Divine Strike. Once on each of your turns, when you hit a creature with an attack with a weapon, you can cause the target you take an extra 1d8 necrotic or radiant damage. Choosing one of these, okay. Potent spellcasting, you add your wisdom modifier to the damage you deal with any divine cantrip. Oh, that's cool. I like that.
I think it's good.
If you get either option from another source, you can use only the option you choose for this. You can use only the option you chose for this feature. Huh.
So if there was another form of Blessed Strikes, I guess perhaps like Paladin might have something similar to it. If you were Cleric Paladin, something like that. I don't know. 8th level ability score improvement. 9th level commute. They dropped a T.
Yep.
In the past, you have reached the divine source of your power through prayer. Okay. You can now also have brief conversations. You always have the commune spell prepared.
Okay, you just dial up your deity every moment.
I don't like the wording on it. In the past, you have reached the divine source of your power through prayer.
Wait,
now do it again.
That is weird. Why did it say in the past? Why would it not be now? Like, now.
I think they just need to write it more clearly. It just is. I get what they mean, but it's just frankly fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It's just
I don't know. Whatever. Cool.
You have now reached the divine source, so you're powered through.
Well, I'm just talking about the
That would be
ability. Some of the ability now, and it's just like, okay, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, the commune spell's decent, I guess.
Hey, it's something. You know, at the end of the day, you add in something to the class, cool. I will say though, going back here, hold on one second. I am going to go back up to base level cleric and just look and see how it's comparing so far. Channel Divinity, better. Destroy Undead, got rid of that, added the other thing. Divine Intervention. Okay, so yeah, none of this other stuff was in there. Divine Intervention at level 10 was the only thing you got. So so Busted Strikes wasn't there. Commune wasn't there, so they had a couple things there. Divine Intervention, you can call on your deity or pantheon to intervene on your behalf as a magic action. Choose any divine spell of 5th level or lower that doesn't require a reaction to cast. As part of the same action, you cast that spell without expending a spell slot or needing material components. You then can't use this feature again until you finish a long rest. Whoa. That is so much different.
I think it makes a lot more sense than the other one.
Yeah, the old edition was you roll a percentile die and maybe your god will show up and destroy the earth.
Yeah, you want magical wild magic, or you want divine wild magic, because that's what you kind of had. Which is gonna be beneficial. This makes more sense. It tells you mechanically what it does.
I don't know. I kind of like the old divine intervention. I think that
I like it.
I think that
this
maybe
is more clear.
Well, I think it'd be cool if they did both. Like, hey, either do this magic action or roll percentile dice, and maybe your fucking homie will show up and just start doing crazy shit. I just like divine intervention as a Hail Mary. I do like this though, because this is more applicable to like everyday things. Maybe you just need, hey, like you draw on some sort of power from your deity and then you can use it immediately. So it's kind of a cool little RP thing of like, hey, your deity is more present and involved, or maybe it's just like they give you like a burst of energy, or this makes it seem like there's more of a connection. Whereas Divine Intervention before, it's like, hey, I rolled my 74th Divine Intervention and they still haven't showed up. They hate me. Oh, but I can talk to them though. I can use the commune spell now.
Jim, and you'll tell me, hey man, I'll be there next time, I promise.
Yeah, exactly.
You roll out next time. Shit.
Yeah, so I do like this. I think this is pretty cool. I think it'd be cool if they added both. Just for more options. I think it'd be pretty cool. Ability score improvement. Wow. Improved Busted Strikes. The option you chose for Busted Strike grows more powerful. Oh shit. The extra damage of your Divine Strikes increases to 2d8. Wait, did this say you do this once a turn? Once on each of your turns, okay. When you cast a Divine Cantrip and deal damage to a creature with it, you can give Vitality to yourself or another creature within 60 feet of yourself, granting a number of temporary hit points equal to twice your Wisdom modifier. That's pretty cool.
If you're hitting every time, that's really good. Just buffing up even if they're still taking damage, just continuously putting this on Barbarian or something in the front line. Just like if you're getting consistent hits that are doing damage with your cantrip, because you add your wisdom modifier to damage, then you're just adding this, you're throwing it on the Barbarian who might lose it immediately, but it's just another this buffer of health you're giving them, so you don't have to heal them as often.
Yeah, and I really like this has been a couple times that they've noted this. I like that they're using temporary hit points a little more. I think temporary hit points is a really cool way to balance healing in a way, depending on certain abilities, because you can, if you gain temporary hit points again, it circumvents the previous, and so you can't stack. Right. You can't like continue a threshold and keep giving it. But I like that. So I like when they're using temporary hit points for abilities like this. Because it kind of keeps it in the realm of you're not healing, so you can't just constantly just spam it and give all your homies infinite health, but it does give you that buffer like you were saying.
Yeah,
that's super cool. I like that.
I think the thing is Divine Strike, which obviously you're getting Divine Strike if at level 1 you picked Protector. You should get that because that's where you have the weapon proficiency. Doing the 2d8 extra damage every hit is really good. Like that, and then if you do War Magic, I'm sure you get extra attack. That's really good.
Well, I was gonna say base cleric, you don't get another weapon attack.
Yeah, but also it's once for each of your turns when you hit. It's not each attack. So even if you have double multi-attack, only one of them is getting the 2d8.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that though. I like the ways that they're improving martials. I think it's good because cleric, if a cleric does not get an extra attack, Dude, they're getting one. They're getting one smacky, and it's cool that
they are a full caster though.
They are a full caster, but I think it's cool. Oh yeah, I don't know why I mentioned Marshall. They are a full caster. Yeah. I do like that. I do like this that it does at least give them a contingency if they do burn all their spells though. You know, like it's like I burn all my spells now. I'm fucking useless. I'm gonna do my 1d6 damage or 1d8 damage of my mace, and that's it. I like that this will at least kind of allows them to power scale a little bit.
Yeah, sorry, I just scrolled down to war domain just to see if they get an extra attack. I don't see it. However, the brief things I did read and had to tear my eyes away from, they're really fucking good.
Yeah.
Just really quick, level 6 when they cast Shield of Faith, they also cast it on themselves.
Oh, that's dope.
That's fucking huge.
That's so cool. I like that a lot.
It's fucking busted as hell. I'm just seeing a cleric paladin fucking bro combo, just walking into a fight, both of them just sitting with 22 AC. You know.
You good, Bubba? Hey, Knox.
Oh, he's a good boy.
He's side-eyeing the shit out of me.
We have a 16 ability score, 17 subclass feature,
real
19
quick,
ability score.
Real quick, Love Murder Rose. Thank you so much for following the channel. We appreciate you.
Tell that motherfucker I appreciate it.
Hell yeah, we appreciate you. All right, sorry. Real quick, what were you saying? Go ahead. Continue.
I was blasted through 16, 17, 19. Ability score, subclass feature. Ability score, 20, and I'll happily let you read this because it's maybe what you need.
Oh, okay. Let's see. 20th level, you're able to call on even more powerful divine intervention. When you use your divine intervention feature, you can choose wish when you select a spell. If you do so, you can't use divine intervention again until you finish 2d4 long rests. When you cast wish with this feature, you are immune to the stress caused by using wish to do something other than casting a spell. That's fucking sick.
I was gonna say, like, that's the type of divine intervention I feel like you were kind of circling around. It's like casting a level 5 spell for free is really good, but it's not like divine intervention. That's divine intervention. There's no percentile die. Instead, you get to call it.
Yeah, yeah. You're just like, hey, by the way, Jesus, I'm gonna need some help. Boom! Just fucking meteor swarm or some shit, or I don't know, like heal. What is it? What's the ninth?
What book was that in?
Isn't there a ninth level? Isn't there a ninth level heal? That's like you heal or 500 hit. No, I think that's just power word heal. And I think it's like 500 hit point pool.
Yeah,
I think it's 8.
I like the idea of using divine intervention, using the wish spell to cast fucking power world kill.
You're just like
just the pettiest shit. I'm getting my god involved. Just ice you.
Is power word killed? I thought power word isn't that level?
I think it's 7th.
Oh, okay.
I think it's 7th.
Hold on, I'm actually just for funsies. I'm really curious. I'm gonna scroll. Okay, I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna go and filter it. I am curious, just for funsies. I'm gonna hit 9th level. I'm just gonna see. So you can call upon your deity to do Blade of Disaster, imprisonment.
One moment for me. Please continue.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
You can call upon your deity to do invulnerability. Actually, I guess power word chill, mass suggestion to make everyone just calm the fuck down. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I think there should be more power words in D&D. I think the power word, like this, like format of a spell is super cool. I'm gonna look it up actually in here. Power. How many power words are there? There's power word pain, power word stun, power word heal, and power word kill. Oh, power word kill is 9th level. Nice. Power word heal. Yeah, you could. Yeah. Power word chill. I think power word chill should be one of them. That's dope. I think it should just be like the bard. It's a bard spell. Power word chill. Hey, what do you think, Connor? Hey, power word chill. The 9th level. Everyone in like a 5-mile radius just calms the fuck down. Everyone just relaxes and has a good time.
I like it. Only in the context is I know me as a player, I would cause political instability. I would cause a coup to take over the kingdom. So when everyone's freaking out, everyone's like, hey, chill.
Yeah, everyone.
And then everyone's like, you know what? It's gonna be all right.
Even better, you call upon your deity to do it. So there's divine whatever. Just Love Murder Rose said power word chill. That was their.
I like it.
I like it too, and I was saying that I think it'd be cool if there was more power word like spells. A lot of the power word spells are 7th level and above. It's only I think 5. I think I just read, but I think it'd be cool if they kept expanding on that in later editions. I
think
stuff.
All versions of because like there's different like thought processes and origins. D&D does a great job of drawing magic from different sources. And true name magic, which is a lot of the power words comes from, well, is what they do come from. I love that type of magic. I was really into Aragon growing up, so the movie doesn't exist. But I was really into I love the true name magic. So anything that kind of like leans a little bit into that, all the power words, even some monsters are related to that. I really like.
Yeah, and actually, I'm pretty sure if you do have the app spells 5e, I think if you like have the subscription or you pay the one time, I think you can make your own spells. I'm gonna make power word chill. That's I like that.
Publish it.
I like that. I will say, I do like the 20th level greater divine intervention. I do think it'd be kind of cool if there was still a percentile dice one, because I do like the open-endedness of the percentile one, where it's like you call upon your deity to do something, you say what it is you want them to do, and you roll, and then there's a Hail Mary. I think it'd just be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But once again, go ahead, sorry.
I think there should be some type of system like that. I think it was a really fun thing they had for the cleric.
Yes.
But I understand why it's not here. But I think there should be some version of it still kicking around.
Wait, did they not? They didn't have a 20th level base cleric ability in the 2014. They didn't. What?
Yeah.
Man, I'm loving this new stuff, bro. 2024. I think it comes out in 2024.
I hope so.
I'm really excited for this. Some power words I'd like to see. Power word rest. Single target creature falls asleep instantly. If undisturbed for 1d4 rounds, the creature benefits from a long rest. Oh, I like that. Power word mend. 500 HP pool of healing, but only for constructs and inorganic. Oh, cool. Power word bless. Bless spell, but scale it to a d10 or d12 and affect all those creatures in X area. Those are dope. Hey, I'm gonna steal those. Oh, I'm gonna copy and paste that, and thanks. Those are sick.
Stolen. Thank you very much.
I will. I'll generously shout you out if they ever come up in my game. But I like those ideas actually a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and just copy and paste that somewhere to a Word doc. I don't know how Discord. I typed in Word and Discord said, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna come up." Like what?
I like that. Yeah. Okay, so the only thing Cleric gets in 20th, or at level 20 in normal is for Divine Intervention at 20th level, your call for intervention succeeds automatically, no roll required.
Wait, really? Oh, is that listed?
It's just buried into level 7. Like, if you look at the table, it says level 20 Divine Intervention Improvement, so you have to go to Divine Intervention, which is level 7, to actually even see it. It's just an extra tagged-on paragraph, or sentence to the paragraph.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see it now. Well, it's even that's like kind of insane because literally, what did it say? Well, I guess in the old Divine Intervention, it like was non-specific, and I think it even said like your deity could not do it. But I like you were saying earlier, I do like that this version, the updated version, is like, here's a mechanic. This is what it does. Like, and then as a DM, flavor however you want. Like, there are some pretty powerful 5th level spells if you were to do Divine Intervention, and you can flavor that really cool with your deity or whatever. So, yep.
No, I agree. I think they're all pretty cool, all in all.
Cool.
Well, yeah, they are cool. I do like Wish. Wish is super open ended, and I think as a level 20 capstone for this class, it is pretty good compared to a lot of the other ones. Yes, I would agree. It's at least on par to the ones I would consider moderate for level 20.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I agree. Also, let's move on to Bard if you're ready, bro. I'm curious about Bard.
Bard, God.
Okay, see, I'm excited for Bard because you don't like, well, I'm gonna say you don't like Bard, but like some of the stuff, there's some things about Bard you don't like, and I'm curious if maybe they'll improve this to where you'd be like, yo, sick. And if not,
I'll say this before I even read it. I hope they don't improve Bard from what I don't like about Bard. And the reason I say that is Bard is its own class that I happen to not 100. The thing is, low level Bard isn't great. It's because it's a support class. Low levels are not good. But if it's changed to what I would like out of Bard, then it's not Bard anymore, and it should stay the way it is, even if I don't like it. However, if it's improved to kind of get in line with everything else, that'd be great.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, let's jump in real quick. I do like that they have the Bardic die on the table because that is not previously there, and that's about the only difference that I... Wait, hold on. Okay, yeah, that is the same thing. Okay. All right, cool. Let's just jump right in here. I like Bard, but I also understand like why it can be kind of frustrating. Bard is very, very support, and support can be kind of difficult depending on the games that you're in with Bard. So
I will say this: depending on the game, more surprisingly dependent on your party.
Also,
you need to have someone around that's worth supporting. You know?
Dude, that's actually that's actually a really good point, because you literally could be in a very optimal situation as a Bard, and if your party sucks or like or it just makes it difficult for you to cast spells or give them inspiration or whatever, it can be frustrating.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. So real quick, let me go ahead and jump down here. Oh, nope. Bardic Inspiration. You can supernaturally inspire others through word, music, or dance. This inspiration is represented by your Bardic Inspiration die, which is a d6. As a bonus action, you can inspire another creature within 60 feet of yourself who can see or hear you. That creature gains one of your Bardic Inspiration dice. A creature can have only one Bardic Inspiration die at a time. Once within the next hour, when the creature fails a d20 test, the creature can roll that die and add the number rolled to the d20, potentially turning the failure into success. Bardic Inspiration die is expended when it's rolled. Number of uses. You can confer a Bardic Inspiration die a number of times equal to your Charisma modifier, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. At higher levels, it's D8, D10, D12. Okay. A couple things. I think they changed a couple of those, didn't they? Yes. Automatically, it is now an hour. Before it was 10 minutes, now it's an hour.
That sounds right to me.
However, one big thing that I've noticed here was that it says once within the next hour when the creature fails a d20 test. Before, it's just mentioned, hey, you can add it to an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. That's kind of cool because I feel like this makes it so that it's like, hey, you're failing. You want to use your Bardic Inspiration. I would expand it and be like, hey, if you, because I would say me and you are kind of similar in DMing style. I don't really see checks as like a fail or a pass per se. Sometimes it's like more or less. Like you get less information or you get more information. Yeah. So I would still expand this to the realm of like, do you want to use it on just a roll? That's totally fine. I find that successes are not, or success and failures are usually in combat where it's very clear cut, like AC, saving throws, etc.
Right. No, I think D20 test, and here I have it on the playtest list. It's underscored, so I believe on the website there's probably a hyperlink to go and see what that exact diction means, what they're trying to convey. But I think that's a good read. I think it is the D20 test is just like breaking down like, hey, it's either an attack roll or it's a saving throw or it's an ability check. It's whatever. It's you're rolling a D20. Then there's a pass or fail to it.
Are you talking about the D20 test like verbiage?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah. Sorry, there's something stabbing me in my foot. I totally blanked out there. But no, fine. Yeah. I like that I think that it's interesting because I feel like there's a lot of things in D&D that like collectively people just came to understand in D&D. Now in this edition, they're putting words to it, which is really nice for people getting into the hobby, or just for veteran players helping newbies and like explaining that stuff, or just terms that we can use going forward. I think that's pretty cool. Spell casting, same shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you can read it if you want.
Hell no, brother.
Yeah.
Also, go ahead.
Expertise, I like same as the rogue. They also say performance, persuasion are iconic choices for the bard. But expertise, you have expertise in your proficiencies, which I guess just so it's said at any time, you add your proficiency twice, unless they're changing how it's done in this edition.
Right.
You just add your proficiency twice, which is really good, and it gets better and better as you level up. Expertise is a super good thing.
Yeah,
Then,
and then
the same level, you get the Jack of all trades, which looks unchanged, but you add a half a proficiency bonus rounded down to any ability check that you make that uses a skill proficiency you lack, and that doesn't otherwise use your proficiency bonus. So, for example, if you make a strength athletics check and lack athletics proficiency, you can add half your proficiency bonus to the check. That's Bard shit. That is.
I like that more than reliable talent. I like
it more than reliable talent too. But that's also same as 5e. That's still same as 2014.
No, yeah, but I was looking, and actually something that like kind of, I don't know if something on the radar for you, but expertise was not actually like in Bard. Like, you only got Jack of all trades and Song of Rest for Bard. Like, expertise is now new to Bard.
You might be right, but it feels wrong. You know what I mean? Like, if I feel like they had some, because I know Bard was one of the things that was very much like, they get expertise.
I apologize. Okay, so it's earlier. Yeah. I was gonna say it was earlier.
Just because Bards and Rogues, I know, like, they are the skill monkeys. They can do everything. Do a lot of things very well.
Also, real quick, so this is a bit random, but I have no one else who's interested. Did you know that as a monk, if you take the Fighting Initiate feat in Unarmed Fighting style, your damage die jumps to a D8? That's the equivalent of a level 11 monk, and you can do this as soon as level 4. Do you know that as a monk, if you take the Fighting Initiate feat in Unarmed Fighting style?
Yeah. Oh, so you get a dip and get the fists.
Your damage die jump. For your unarmed strikes. Oh, yes. I see. Honestly, that's pretty sick.
That's the same rationale for Tavern Brawler for me too. Like a monk with Tavern Brawler. Actually, no, I think that is better than Tavern Brawler, because I think Tavern Brawler changes the hit die.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. Honestly, I'm actually also kind of looking forward to Monk, because actually recently I've seen a bunch of memes from Monk about people being like, "Monk shit, man, their damage output's ass," and I was just like, that's kind of true. So I'm actually really curious if they had any changes.
I hate monks, and if you get to a certain point in Baldur's Gate, and I'll say this: if everyone who's gone from Act 2 to Act 3 got into a very specific story-based series of fights, knows why monks are fucking bullshit. I'm
not gonna lie.
You're fighting like 9 of them at once.
Oh, dude, fuck that shit. Oh, bruh.
Not that many, but it's a lot, dude.
Yeah. I think we'll get into the monk. But that's pretty cool. I like that. I think that's pretty cool. I think that, I guess in terms of like power scaling, that's kind of broken, but also like the monks, like their damage output's pretty low comparatively, so I don't think that's too crazy. I'm curious how they do change it in the Unearthed Arcana.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Bard subclass. Wow. Okay, 4th level. Oh wow, it's really a score improvement. By the way, I would like to say Song of Rest is no longer 2nd level. That was in the OG, and now it's not there. You can use a soothing music to oration to help revitalize your wounded allies during a short rest. Basically, on a short rest, you can help people regain more health as a bard. That is not in the game for the new edition.
It might be class specific now.
Like subclass, you saying?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Azzy Haven, welcome in. What's up? Welcome in. We're just going through some of the Unearthed Arcana playtest that's coming out. I want to say that Wizards said 2014, so we're checking it out.
I believe so. Also, I just buzzed really quick, all the subclasses. Nothing directly said Song of Rest.
So they got rid of that.
All I'm seeing is Font of Inspiration at 5th level is another short rest specific thing for normal Bard.
Yeah.
The Bard, as they say.
The Bard. I think for me it's interesting because like I feel like they've only built on classes, and so it's interesting for them to take out something. Also, what released in 2014? So 2014 was when 5th edition originally released. Yes. 2024, next year, 10 years later.
To be fair,
they should be releasing.
You might have said 2014.
Oh, did I say 2014?
To be fair.
Shit.
I'm not saying we did. I'm just like, I can see us doing that.
My bad. You're right. I do reference the old book as 2014 edition. So, yes, 2024, next year, Wizards of the Coast should be coming out with a new player's handbook, which should have finalized revisions of all the stuff that we're going over now. So, feel free to follow along. Oh, yeah, okay. We did say it was going to release in 2014. Yeah, my bad.
Look, Bobby. It did. The first one did. We weren't wrong.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead and read Font of Inspiration, my friend. Go ahead.
Yeah, this one obviously very different from Song of Rest, but you now regain all your expended uses of Bardic Inspiration when you finish a short rest. In addition, if you have no uses of Bardic Inspiration, you can give yourself one use by expending a spell slot. No action required. You can only do so once per turn. You can do so only once per turn.
You now also regain all your expended
use. In addition, if you have no, so this is just a combat thing. That's a separate thing. So if you run out of Bardic Inspiration and you just go, shit, middle of combat, you can change a spell slot if it's going to be better served as Bardic Inspiration.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool,
That's nice.
Cool.
Getting your Bardic Inspiration back on a short rest, I like. It's because it's not broken. It's not a broken thing to have. Just so you might as well just get it up while Warlocks get their spell slots up. You know, we could all get it up a bit more.
Is Font of Inspiration? Oh, that is 5th level.
Yep.
Oh, but the previous one didn't. Oh my gosh. The old one, 2014 edition, mind you.
That's when it's gonna be released.
Yeah, this is when you couldn't convert with your spell slot. I do like that. I do like that they're letting you resource pool. It's like, hey, you're not using your spell slot, or you want to, you can you do convert a thing.
When I first started reading it, I was thinking it was going to be like we saw with the Barbarian here, where it's like, instead of, you have no rages left, go ahead. Have one.
Yeah.
But instead of what it's like, yeah, you can, but burn a spell slot.
Yeah. Well, hey, bro, it's a super cool sorcerer ability where divide your level by 5, and that's how many sorcerer points you get.
Hey,
it's 1. That's something, man.
It's 1, baby. But as we went through there, the meta magics are fairly strong.
Yeah.
Fairly.
Yeah. Also, I'm curious. So, Counter Charm, I've heard a little bit about. Counter Charm, by the way, it's 6th level subclass feature. 7th level Counter Charm, you can use your musical notes or words of power to disrupt mind-influencing effects. If you or a creature within 30 feet of you fails a saving throw against an effect that applies the charmed or frightened condition, you can use your reaction to cause the save to be re-rolled, and the new roll has advantage. That's super cool.
Really good.
That's so cool.
I like that, because charmed and frightened don't come up that often. But you have you're not having to use a resource. This isn't like once per short rest. This is a reaction. That's good. I like that. It's a hard counter to charms. Yeah, I still like that. It's not explicitly like it's. Yeah, I like it because they have to be within 30 feet of you, and I think that's important too.
Yeah,
somebody can still get separated. They still gotta hang out close to the bard.
Yeah, and I like it because it's still up the alley for a bard too, in a way. You know, I feel like as a bard, a lot of your stuff is about charming or interacting with people, so it's kind of cool that you also have the ability to kind of negate that effect as well. Also the old what?
I keep accidentally just glancing and reading ahead, so we're gonna get into some fun stuff here in a minute.
Hell yeah! Real quick though, Counter Charm for 2014. As an action, you can start a performance. That lasts until the end of your next turn. During this time, you and any friendly creatures within 30 feet of you have advantage on saving throws against being frightened frightened or charmed.
Yeah, a creature no one ever used it.
Yeah, a creature must be able to. Yeah. That was too. It bogged you down too much. This is super cool. It's almost just like out of will, and it's very versatile. Also, thank God they added something. Considering what they did to my boy Counterspell, now I'm nervous because I don't know what they did to the Counterspell. Is this Unearthed Arcana Counterspell changes? Because if so, please tell me, because we have not looked at what.
I'm gonna go peek.
Oh, you're gonna go look. We should go.
I'm gonna see if it's here anyway.
I'm gonna type in Counter Charm or Counterspell and to see if it comes up.
Yeah.
Exact matches 1 Counterspell. Oh shit! Wait.
That's good. That's what you want to see.
I think it was just on a glossary, though. I don't think it's in here.
Yeah. Well, in this one, in a list 6, this is playtest 6. That is not listed as a spell here.
Yeah, I think. Oh, by the way, actually, since we're on spells, did you know that they're actually switching it up? So there's divine spells.
No, it's here.
It's here.
Yeah, it's here. It's just they have a lot of lists.
Okay, yeah. So they're breaking spells up into 3 categories. They have arcane spells, divine spells, and I think nature spells. Or what is the third category? The third category. It's kind of cool what they're doing. Primal spells. So there's like schools of spells that are they're kind of subsect.
Well, it's like as we're seeing with the cleric, a lot of his abilities are based off of using divine spells or divine cantrips.
Right.
You know, so it's just probably another tag with certain spells instead of being specific clerical spells.
Yeah, they're probably gotcha. All right, bro, continue. Ability score improvement. Woohoo! Expertise. Did they get expertise twice like the rogue did?
Yes.
Yes, it's just different levels. One level earlier for both. Good for them. Magical secrets. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, 1 second. I had to scroll all the way back up because I was trying to find counterspell on this thing, and I found it.
You did.
It's written the word counterspell, nothing describing it.
Oh yeah, no.
Magical secrets.
Yeah, I used the search thing, and it just showed up in a list, and I was like, that tells me nothing.
You have collected magical knowledge from a wide spectrum of disciplines. As a result, your bard list now includes the arcane, divine, and primal spells list. So level 10, your ability to draw spells grows dramatically.
That's wild.
Arcane, divine, primal. So I'm reading wizard, paladin, cleric, and then druid, ranger, essentially.
And sorcerer. I think sorcerer pulls from.
Oh, sorcerer would be arcane too, probably.
Right.
I think sorcerer might, because we didn't get too much into the spell list of them. Sorcerer might skip arcane, divine, primal a little bit, depending. It depends on what type of sorcerer, potentially. That might be somewhat subclass specific.
Yeah, and exactly. I think that's pretty cool. I think the bard kind of it makes, in some way, it can make sense in the fact that they kind of just dabble in all three, depending on what the build you want for your bard to be. So that's kind of cool.
Depends on what the muses tell you.
Yeah, they don't get a level 11th because they hate the bard. But
yeah.
12th level ability score, 14th subclass, 16th ability score, 18th superior inspiration. When you roll initiative and have no uses of bardic inspiration left, you regain 2 expended uses of it. Good for you.
Right. I mean, that's good. It's if you're just in a slog, you ran out, is that kind of like what we were saying about the meta magic? Like, burn it. If you have 1 left, go ahead, burn it. Make sure you're at 0, so when you start the next fight, you get 2.
Exactly.
Inspire your local gnome. 19th ability score improvement. 20th, which is what I read ahead on, and I was like, what the fuck?
Oh,
this is pretty cool. You have mastered 2 of the prime words of creation, the words of life and death. You therefore always have power word heal and power word kill spells prepared. And when you cast either spell, you can target a second creature with that spell, provided the creature is within 10 feet of the first target.
That's crazy.
So,
that's crazy.
Like, fuck you and your friend. Like, it's like, healing, obviously, is really good power word heal. It's not going to be used for power word heal that often, I don't think. That's good. I like it. It's fun.
Yeah, I think that's I think it's cool. I mean, 20th level for that to be. I mean, I guess in theory, like, you're almost getting able to duplicate a 9th level spell. I mean, the cleric we just saw, you can basically just cast a 9th level spell. So this was just like, hey, do this thing, but then double it, and give it to the next person, and you just blow them up with power word kill.
You literally double it, give it to the next person.
That's hilarious.
I will say you only have 1 9th level spell, so it's not breaking the bank quite.
Yeah,
it's not nothing, but you have 2 abilities that are both pretty good. They're not going to be the best in every situation, but 2 of them, you're going to get double your money, especially power word heal, because you're not trying to beat any DC. You're healing your friend and then your other friend. Yeah,
exactly. I like that.
Or actually, yeah.
Let's see, what else do we have in here? So we did Bard, we did Cleric, we did Rogue. Ooh, let's do Ranger for the last class tonight, and then we can save Druid, Monk, Paladin for one last go, if that works for you.
Run. Yeah, well, I will say I'd like to. Yeah, let's run through Ranger. Is
there a different one you want to do?
No, I'm just it's getting a bit late for me, but okay. I do want to see how my OG, my boy Ranger's doing these days.
Yeah, I figured you'd like that, so let's do it.
Bastard, I'm already scared.
Ranger, cool. All right, let's see.
He's okay.
Well, it looks like they're a half caster still. Spells prepared.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, let me go to Ranger in here because let's see, because the comparing it to the 2014 is, yeah, I mean, shit, 2014 was so ass. So I mean, they can only go up really from here. Okay, Ranger. Okay, so they're already starting out well. Their first level, they have 2 spells instead of Ranger at first level having shit. So they're already scaling better. Yeah, so they already have a little bit more off that alone.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, because this is the thing. Yeah. This is I think the inherent issue with Ranger, like in 2014, was that it was a half caster, but then sucked in everything else. Like they didn't get enough abilities to make up for it. Paladin is like a half caster, but Paladin's also sick as fuck, and their subclass does a bunch of stuff. So like, there's a very like specific thing there. Whereas before, Ranger's like, yo, actually, Ranger before was not even a half caster. It was like a 3/7 caster. Because for some reason they decided to make them worse than a half caster. Anyway, let's go.
Yeah, and that was my first character. Level 1 Depth Explorer. You are an unsurpassed explorer. Choose one of your proficiencies and a skill that appears on the Ranger skill list. You gain expertise in that skill. Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
In addition, choose 2 types of terrain: Arctic, coast, desert, forest, grasslands, mountains, swamp, or the Underdark. You have advantage on intelligence nature checks about the chosen terrain, and you have advantage on wisdom survival checks to track creatures in them. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can meditate and replace one of the chosen terrain types with a different one from that list.
Oh, that's super cool, dude. I like that.
So that's a lot better.
I would say not necessarily a fan. This goes back to the whole weapon masteries too. Not a fan of you just being like, haha, now I'm proficient in the coasts. Even though before I was a grasslands kind of guy. It's like, what the hell? But I really like that. I really like that it's 2. Because that kind of doubles. Because before it was like, yeah, man, choose 1. And then your whole campaign was in the mountains when you chose grasslands. And you're like, I hate my life. And it didn't actually do anything.
I think kind of similar to what I said there is, I think it leans into like, I'm really good at surviving anywhere. I'm a ranger. Then it's like, oh, let me get attuned to this environment that I'm already in some way familiar. I think with weapon mastery, it's a little bit of an easier logical jump for me than it is for a ranger who maybe is like, I've traveled all around. I traveled the mountains and the grasslands. It's like, we're in the Underdark. It's like, oh, well, shit. Yeah, it's different. But if I take a long rest, it's still different. I also think, in my mind, Depth Explorer, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the things, like the terrain, like, oh, I'm really familiar with like the coasts and the deserts. That is like, I like that this is flexible mechanically, I guess I should say, because like coming from the coasts and deserts as a character is like a backstory thing, and it doesn't need to be reflected in these skills, you know. But I don't know. I think this also not saying, and perhaps it says it later on. It says nothing about you can't be lost in your chosen terrain. It says you have an advantage on nature checks and survival checks, which are good, but not as good as they were in your normal terrain in the 5th edition. I think that's an important change.
Yeah, Natural Explorer before, dude, it was like all sorts of crazy shit. Difficult terrain doesn't slow your group. Your group can't become lost. Even when you're engaged in another activity while traveling, you can do all this. You're traveling alone, you move stealthily. It was a lot of stuff. It was a lot of very specific things for Natural Explorer, which I liked. Which was kind of cool that they broke those all down, but also I think this just makes it simpler. It's like, okay, here you go. Which I like. Yeah, cool.
I like it too. Yeah,
I think it's good.
We have spell casting, and then if you want to go to the favorite enemy,
weapon mastery. Okay, favorite enemy. You are adept at focusing on a single foe. You always have the Hunter's Mark spell prepared. You can cast it a number of times equal to your Wisdom modifier without expending a spell slot, and you regain all expended uses of this ability when you finish a long rest. Boom! There you go.
Love it.
Easy fucking solve. Literally before they like kept switching it. There was like, I think in Tosh's it was like, hey, you can mark an enemy and you do a D6, and then it was like explaining Hunter's Mark but shittier. I like this one's just like, hey, use Hunter's Mark, and there you go, problem solved. Yeah,
use it. You're not using your spells. You can use it also as your spell. But also, what's your wisdom modifier? All right, use it that many times. You know, it's like, that's super. I like that. It's really simple, really concise.
I also really like that they are branching out a little bit. And this might be stuff that I use for homebrew too, when it comes to maybe magical weapon or something. I really like that they're embedding class's primary stat, that modifier for that stat as a resource. I really like that.
Yeah,
it kind of it also makes buffing that stat even more viable. Like Hunter's Mark for free, if your wisdom is like even 16, that's 3 times. That's really good.
Yeah.
Fighting
style. Yeah. You gain one of your following fighting style feats of your choice: archery, defense, dueling, 2 weapon fighting.
Yep.
I think that's as it was written. I think defense might be new. Even that, I'm not sure. I might have already had that.
Let me see. Fighting style, defense. Yeah, no, that's just you get a +1 to AC while you're wearing armor.
Yeah.
But I really like fighting styles too because they actually they also expanded on fighting styles pretty broad too as the additions, as like Tasha's came out, as other ones came out, they like gave you like a handful more. So that's pretty cool. Like you even when you were looking at Ranger, there's like druidic fighter or whatever, and you cantrips or something. So that's pretty cool.
Right.
Wow. Subclass. 4th level ability score improvement. Extra attack. Nice. I'm pretty sure you got an extra attack anyway, right?
Roving.
Sorry, 1 second.
That's really good.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
6th level, roving. Your speed increases by 10 feet while you aren't wearing heavy armor. You also have a climb speed and a swim speed equal to your speed.
That's dope.
Yeah, I like that. It's like, hey, the Ranger's a commando.
Yeah,
he's in the dirt. He's swimming. He's gonna SEAL Team 6 you. He's gonna.
Yeah, he's gonna. I like this because the Ranger, in my opinion, is like the Rogue, but a half-caster and more outdoorsy. And I like that this is like almost like a different kind of version of maneuverability. It's like it's different from the Rogue, but similar in the sense that they can do certain things. Because a climb speed is huge. Climb speed basically means that you are unhindered when you're just climbing. Like you're going up you can go up a surface, doesn't matter.
That's pretty good.
Oh, it's also crazy too because I thought, and you have 40 feet.
Yeah, and like you run quick as shit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like you move quickly, and then also you move quickly climbing, swimming.
Yeah.
And that's a really good ability.
If you're a Wood Elf, bro, 45. Free extra 5.
I was thinking it.
Yeah.
If I find a Tabaxi Monk Ranger, I'm punching them.
That's the next BBEG, bro.
Yeah, Conjure Barrage. Well, 8th level ability score improvement.
Oh, thank God! Thank you for calling that out, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, I keep going past them. I don't want to. 9th level, Conjure Barrage, channeling Nature's Might. You can cause your weapon to multiply and strike at creatures before you. You always have the Conjure Barrage spell prepared.
Nice.
Good.
Wait, that's
maybe I need to double check what that means because I think it means in my mind that means you have a new spell on your list for free. Not including the other spells, but you still have to use a spell slot.
I was going to say that's cool, except that you can't do at least a lot of these abilities when they give you a spell, they're like, hey, do it once for free a day. But the fact that they don't say that here is kind of weird.
Yeah, well, Conjure Barrage is, if I recall, unless it's been changed, isn't that good.
Right.
It's there, but remember, it's not being that great.
Yeah.
But you also get another thing at 9th level.
Nice.
Which is Depth Explorer Improvement. Let's see if this changes anything. Choose one of your proficiencies in a skill that appears on the Ranger list. You gain expertise in that skill.
Nice.
In addition, you 2 more terrain types for your Depth Explorer feature.
Okay, I like that.
I know coast, swamps, deserts, and mountains. I'm staying away from the Underdark.
Yeah, fuck the Underdark, baby. Tireless Primal Forces now help fuel you on your journeys, granting you the following benefits. Temporary hit points. As an action, you can give yourself a number of temporary hit points equal to 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier. You can use this action a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. That's dope. Whenever decrease exhaustion. Whenever you finish a short rest, your exhaustion level, if any, decreases by 1. That's really cool.
Yeah. That doesn't come up a lot, but if it does come up, the Ranger should get a benefit.
Yeah, that's actually super dope. I like that just kind of goes into the flavor of a Ranger of like, hey, they're outside a lot. They deal with some harsh ass environments. They're used to hard living, in some occasions. Oh, go ahead. What's up? Nature's Veil?
Dude, okay.
Next up.
Yep.
All right, 11th level subclass, 12th level.
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
12th level ability score improvement. Let's not run past that.
Oh, yeah, hold on.
But 14th level, so there's nothing 13th. That was the one thing that had missing. 14th level, you invoke Spirits of Nature to magically hide yourself from view. As a bonus action, you can give yourself the invisible condition until the end of your next turn. You can use this feature, again, equal to your wisdom modifier, and you gain all expended uses when you finish a long rest.
Nice.
Invisibility on a bonus action, which, I mean, invisibility, if I recall, is a bonus action.
No.
No, it's an action. It's 14th level, so that's the same level where the rogue was getting all his second abilities with his cunning actions, whatever they're called. When he gets like
Decisive.
the 66 fucking knocking people out ability.
Yeah, that bullshit. 1 action.
That
Invisibility.
Yeah, and he gives himself the invisible condition. I want to point out, the invisible condition is not the spell invisibility. The spell invisibility drops when you attack. The invisible condition does not.
That's a good point.
So, Predator.
That's
the end of the pitch. That's pretty cool. I like that.
No, I like that a lot too, and I really like that. For me, I was gonna say, I think it's hard not to, because I think before, when you don't really compare classes a lot side by side, like when you're back in the 2014, when we're making characters, I feel like going through Unearthed Arcana and having all the classes back to back to back and directly comparing them can be kind of easy to do, because I was gonna say, like, compared to the rogue, but it's like, fuck it, whatever. The rogue is a rogue, they get their stuff, whatever. So I'm not trying to be shitty and like be like, this isn't as good as the rogue, because they're all different, right? Everything is different. Right. Anyway, side note over. I really like that this is equal to your wisdom modifier again. I like how a lot of these abilities are your wisdom modifier. So if you dump all of, like, your points and you get a 16, 18, even a 20 wisdom, that's 5 times that you can use all of these different things, like your temporary hit points
from Conjure Barrage for some reason.
Well, Conjure Barrage, fuck Conjure Barrage. Actually, hold on. I'm looking.
All my homies hate. Yeah, go ahead, look it up.
I'm looking it up because that's just. Is it good? Because if it's not good, then fuck. It's a 3rd level spell. At 9th level, you're getting a 3rd level spell. It does 3d8 damage. Oh, each creature in a 60-foot cone must succeed on a dexterity saving throw. A creature takes 3d8 damage on a failed. The damage type is the same as that of the weapon or ammunition. That spell sucks. That spell sucks ass. That shit sucks. Conjure Barrage, 9th level ability. You can just have that, and
60-foot cone is a lot of area.
Yeah, but like 9th level to that. Yeah, see, this is the thing. The rogue can knock someone the fuck out at 9th level. Wait, no. 11th level?
Yeah, it's 9th level.
9th level, yeah.
Yeah. At 9th level, he can't knock anybody out. That's 14th level. Where he
14. Okay, gotcha. But no, I think Conjure Barrage. I think Conjure Barrage. Yeah, I think that spell, like, comparatively kind of sucks in the instance that it's not, like, that's not free. Like, if this was like, hey, you Conjure Barrage and it was a super good spell and you always do that, that'd be cool. But like, for it to still cost a spell slot at 9th level, for it to be an ability kind of mid, I think at least once a long rest, you get it for free.
Maybe that's I almost feel like that's kind of what they're intending. You get Conjure Barrage on your list, and also you get one of them. You have one in this chamber. That's how I want to think that's what they mean. Yeah. That's not what they're saying, but that's what I want them to be saying.
Yeah, and I think
I would never take the spell, but if I had it, I'd use it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Once in a kobold's fucking open mouth, I was screaming away, like trying to call the guards.
Hey, yo, wait a minute. No, I think if they don't change that, I would give him a 1 freebie per thing. Yeah. That's always cool.
Hey, this is gonna help you when you get to the next one.
Subclass feature.
Yeah.
Nice. Ability score improvement. Nice. Conjure. Oh god. Fuck. Conjure volley. Propelled by primal spirits, your weapon can strike a group of targets far away. You always have the Conjure volley spells prepared. What the fuck, dude? Come on, give me a free use, bro.
Yeah,
please.
I'm looking up Conjure volley now.
It's probably just like 5d8, and it's the same shit.
Range 150 feet. Each creature in a 40-foot radius, 20-foot high cylinder, centered on a point, must take a dexterity saving throw. Creature takes 8d8 damage on a failed save for half as much on a successful one.
Yeah, that's... Wait, what level spell is that? What level spell is that?
That is, I believe, 5th.
Oh, dude, I'm so glad my 17th level ranger can permanently know a spell of 5th level, and that's fucking it.
To be fair, that's the first level he gets access to a 5th level spell.
Yeah, but like let him use it once for free, man. He's 17th level.
I would give it to him once for free, dude.
Yeah. Free 99, bro. Hey, help. Even in the new edition thus far, Rangers, we got to give them some, bro. We got to help them out.
Rangers, and I think that's kind of the problem in the old edition too. Here's a lot of cool flavor. Here's a lot of cool things to do with the character. Is he good? That's not what I said. I said he's really cool. But the invisibility and what else was there? The temporary hit points, which honestly, like, is, I'm gonna be honest. The temporary hit points and the increased exhaustion are neat, I guess. They're not good.
Yeah.
It's 1d8 plus your wisdom. At most, you're gonna get like, for one, you have to roll for it, so you might get a fucking 2.
Yeah.
Then you might have a +3. So
this is true.
And it's an action. It's not even a bonus action. You have to use your action to use this in combat.
Yeah, and I'm actually
use it before combat starts. Sure, but
yeah, and I think it's weird too because it's like that's a 10th level. Like you're telling me I get potentially 8 more health at 10th level. Like it's still scaled, really, bro. Rogues at 7th level get reliable talent, or is it 9th? 7th? It was 7th.
7th.
Yeah, literally.
7-11 switch.
Rogues cannot roll less than a 10 on proficient skills, but the Ranger can get 1d8 plus wisdom hit points. Fuck,
I
man.
think Tireless should be redone.
I think so, too.
I'll say that. I think it's not bad, just give it another go-over. Decreased exhaustion isn't going to be good most campaigns, but leave it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Temporary hit points doesn't make any fucking sense, but it might as well be here. Just make it good, you know?
Yeah.
Might as well.
Also, I would just like to say, too, like, I would say some of the abilities in the 2014 edition are, like, better. Like, Landstride, I do like how they have reworked and made it simple for the knowing of the different kind of biomes. I like that. I think that's pretty cool. But even hide in plain sight. Starting at 10th level, you can spend 1 minute creating camouflage for yourself. You must have access to okay, fuck all that shit. Once you are camouflaged in this way, you can try to hide by pressing yourself up against a solid surface, such as a tree, blah, blah, whatever. You get a +10 to +10 bonus to dexterity stealth checks as long as you remain there without moving or taking actions. Once you move or take an action or a reaction, you must camouflage yourself again to gain its benefit. I think that reworked, maybe to where as long as you don't move, you're good. I think that reworked would have been kind of cool. I do think.
I guess.
But like what I'm saying is like that was like. Anyway, 14th level. Starting at 14th level, you can use the hide action as a bonus action on your turn. Also, you can't be tracked by non-magical means unless you choose to leave a trail. Like, that's really cool.
That's good.
I think they should have had invisibility. I think Banish should have also been a thing too. Like,
I think, just to jump off what you said, like not being able to be tracked.
Yeah, that's
really good.
That's
really
super
cool.
Yeah.
And it also allows someone to track you with magical means. You know. I understand why that might be taken away, just because that might take away a lot of tools for a DM. Like, a really good tracker, you don't maybe want him to not be able to track you, but, you know, whatever. I think Tireless specifically, everything else is fine.
To be fair, I don't
Will I play a Ranger in this edition? Probably not. But it's fine.
To be fair, I also don't want my ancient red dragon to get knocked out by a rogue, but that's in the game, so I'm not too worried about it. Like, I'm not too worried about magical means them not being able to be tracked.
I'll say this, level 18, just because we're there, Feral Sense, your connection to the forces of nature grant you blind sight within a range of 30 feet.
Oh, thank God.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's level 18.
I think this is my issue, is I think that the Ranger stuff, all of this Ranger stuff is cool. I think all of it should be every single ability that we've gotten to so far, -5 levels, and then add more shit. Like, I think they should get it 5 levels earlier, and then you add more things. So I think they should have.
To a degree, yeah. I think they gotta play with, like, Conjure Barrage and Conjure Volley. I think are just like, hey, we made 2 spells that are like arrows, and we should add them to the Ranger. We made 2 arrow spells, so the Ranger should have them. But, like, they're not good spells. Not really. And they're getting them at weird levels, but they just aren't that good.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're gonna give a Conjure Barrage, Conjure Volley or something, like maybe wrap it into once a day, once per short rest type thing. It still does damage. It's better than probably your normal weapon attack. Just moving on as you're reading, level 19 ability score improvement. Level 20 if you're ready for that, Jared.
Bro, tell me. I bet you get 1d4 extra damage. Hit me with it.
You become an foe slayer. You become an unparalleled hunter of your foes. I don't know why that was so hard. When your attack roll misses the target of your hunter's mark, you can add your wisdom modifier to the attack roll, potentially turning it into a hit. Additionally, whenever you hit that target with an attack roll and deal damage to it, you can add your wisdom modifier to the damage. Oh my god. So,
who the fuck is in charge of the Ranger department at Wizards?
Dude, who'd I hurt? What did I do?
Dude, Ranger is still shit. Yeah, that is so sad. That is so sad, man.
Because some of these, like, were pretty good. Roving's good. I'll say that.
Okay.
I'm going back to the things that we were briefly excited about. Favorite enemy in the rework for Deft Explorer, pretty good. Roving's good.
So
all the way down to level 14 is good.
This is my thing. This is my thing. What they should have done, and I think this would have massively overhauled the Ranger. I think they should have just word for word implemented Deft Explorer in Tasha's Cauldron. Because what's cool about Deft Explorer, which I'm pretty sure Deft Explorer here, yeah. So what they should have done is they should keep the chosen 2 terrains, and then Deft Explorer and Tasha's, you get Canny at first level. She's one of your skill proficiencies. Your proficiency bonus is doubled. It's basically just an expertise. You get Roving. Your walking speed increased by 5. It's 5 instead of 10 in here. But then you gain a climbing and swimming speed, and then you also get the tireless thing, which is the temporary hit points. But that's all built into one ability. Like, it's one ability called Deft Explorer, and it increases in power as you level up. Can you see this?
Sure. Yeah.
You guys see this? Hold on.
I mean, no, but
anyway,
yeah.
No. But the thing is, like, what they should have done is they should have tied in because we saw Roving in there. We saw Tireless in there, but they should have bundled some of these together and then made better fucking abilities, bro. Conjure Barrage, Conjure Volley. No one wants that. No one wants that shit. And people, I want real abilities for my Ranger, dude. I want you to expand upon Legolas from fucking Lord of the Rings and make it in D&D. Boom, base class. There you go, problem solved.
To be fair, Aragorn was actually a Ranger.
That's also true.
Yeah, but I feel like
it's so disappointing.
Paladin, they did really good at making a half-caster. Paladin is really strong.
Yes.
I think, but also if you really take it, Paladin's a half-caster from Cleric. Ranger is a half-caster from Druid. From Primal Magic, as they're calling it.
Oh, here. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and it's like, I think Paladin has his main thing, which is Smite. And also being on par with Fighter, being just a really good frontline fighter. And I feel like there's like, oh, let's blend Druid and Rogue kind of together to make the Ranger. Let's give him Hunter's Mark, kind of. Like, they give him Hunter's Mark. They gave him truly Hunter's Mark here, but I think they need to give it another go around. I think they didn't lean it into anything with this character. Like, he's good at survival, but survival is intentionally ambiguous and very DM dependent. So making a whole class around that isn't going to be mechanically satisfying.
No, dude, I 100% agree. And I also feel like, dude, they literally went through and overhauled sneak attack. They overhauled one aspect of the rogue that was super fucking, like, I mean, it was cool. It did a lot of damage, but then they're like, hey, how can we do more? But then we get this lackluster piece of shit whole class still. Literally, Ranger is still ass.
Yeah. Like, I noticed favorite enemy is Hunter's Mark now. Favorite enemy, I don't know if it was a rework UA we used back in the day, but we did favorite enemies where we picked an enemy type, which I understand why they did away with, because it's very specific and your character had to be kind of racist. But you picked a type of enemy you hated, and I think you had a +2 to hit or a +2 damage or both for that enemy type. Like, I picked orcs. I did a lot more damage to orcs, you know? And I was like, oh, okay, it's not good, but it's a little something, you know?
Yeah.
But now using Hunter's Mark, which Hunter's Mark is not a bad spell, but it's also not good enough to build a class around.
This is my thing, bro.
Warlocks get it.
They could literally give Hunter's Mark infinite casts as a Ranger, and Ranger would still be shit.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like, that's what's crazy. Is like, I really like that Hunter's Mark is like the focal point of Ranger. I think that's really cool. I think it's, they're all about hunting and things. It's just not reflected well. Like we've said, they've made some cool adjustments. They've added some cool things. They fine tuned it in some way. But like it's not enough. Like, its power scaling is still so far behind literally everything else, bro. Even Bard, I mean, some of its abilities are kind of but it has Bardic Inspiration. It's a full caster. It's like, yeah, I mean, the only one that was really super good, I'd say, was like Counter Charm. I mean, the other, it had Expertise, but that's still in the normal edition. But like, it wasn't anything super super crazy. But at the very least, it has redeeming factors. Ranger, they said, here's Hunter's Mark. Yeah. Oh, here's Conjure Barrage. Here's Conjure Volley, which you don't even get a cast for free, as written right now.
So here's another thing. Clerics, if they choose Divine Strike, get a 1d8 necrotic or radiant damage.
Yes.
Whereas Hunter's Mark is 1d6. To be fair, Rangers get 2 attacks, but at level 14, the Cleric, who doesn't get 2 attacks, gets 2d8. Which is better than the 1d or 2d6 if you hit twice with the weapon. As Hunter's Mark's only 1d6.
Hunter, is it really? I thought it was a d8.
Nope. Until the spell ends, you deal 1d6 damage to the target. The other thing is you have advantage on Perception, Wisdom, or Perception or Wisdom survival checks to find the target.
All right, bro. Apparently, I have to fix Ranger myself. That's okay. I'll just re-fucking build the entire class as homebrew, and I'll just implement a better version of it.
What I like is that when you cast it at higher levels, you can concentrate on this spell longer. It doesn't do anything damage-wise. Hunter's Mark is not really made to do more damage. It's meant to track people. Its components are visual in ranges 90 feet, so you have to find them before you can track them. Yeah. Hunter's Mark, they added it to do combat. That's not the point of Hunter's Mark. Fucking give them Hex at that point. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Hold on. What was the OG on? Wasn't there? Oh no, it was Ranger. No, it was Ranger's. Ranger subclass. That was good. The Ranger Hunter subclass, bro. If they honestly just took the Ranger Hunter subclass and just put it base kit, then Ranger would be sick as fuck.
Yes,
literally,
totally agree.
Literally, there you go.
Ranger is so undercooked. Yeah, because that's the one where you can choose like a Colossus or Storm Slayer, and like you can do all that stuff.
Yep.
Because that's the subclass I know I picked for Bloodgram. Yeah, because they had some stuff that was actually interesting and impactful. But even then, if I'm being honest, those were still kind of going back to the Cleric's level 1 choice. Do you want this one or that one? All right, next level. Do you want this one or that one? It was kind of polar.
Yeah,
but if you just add it, if it's on the base class, and then I know Gloomstalker is pretty good, but I never played Gloomstalker. I just heard it's pretty good.
Honestly, I think what I'm gonna do, literally, to fix Fighter in my mind and to make Fighter dope as fuck, I literally just took a subclass of the Ranger? Battle Master. No, I'm talking about Fighter. So for Fighter, to fix Fighter, I just took Battle Master, smashed into the class, and I think Fighter is now dope as fuck. I think for Homebrewed Ranger for us, I think I'm gonna take the Hunter archetype, smash it into the class, and say, all right, cool, enjoy your free stuff, because literally, Ranger sucks. I think Ranger is better I would say Ranger is better now in the Unearthed Arcana, but I think it is still power scaled. This power scale is still super far behind, and so I think if when 2024, if they don't adjust this class, I'm just gonna, like I said, do it up. Just smash the Hunter archetype into base Ranger, fix it so that way Connor can have fun in D&D playing a Ranger, and there you go.
Not to say anything, but does that count for in a short amount of time?
That does not count for this next arc, you fuck.
What? Fuck, why?
Because we're already playtesting your rogue fucking bullshit, so.
Oh, well, I don't care about
the cunning action.
That's fine.
A cunning act. Well, hold on. All right, you want cunning actions, or do you want?
There's nothing that the only thing I'd get is the choice between the 3 options at the beginning of that class.
Yeah. We'll talk. But
yeah, that's fine. I was more of asking to be cheeky because we're on stream.
Yeah, you cheeky. Honestly, though, Bard, I would say let's just do final notes here. I'd say Bard.
Yeah.
Nothing super crazy changed. They added a couple cool things, reverted some stuff. Nothing insane. So whatever. Cleric.
Good changes all around. It was like Bard. It changed a little bit, but nothing too crazy. His level 20 capstone was fucking fun.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's pretty cool. And I would just like to say, like, we haven't looked at any subclasses too. So like power scaling. I feel like in some ways it can be easy to compare base class, but then there are subclasses in the classes that are good and bad. So it just kind of depends on what you diverge from. Still Ranger sucks ass though, so there's no helping it. Bard, but yeah, Bard was good. Cleric had a couple cool things. I like the Divine Intervention ruling now. I think that's a little more consistently better. Not a fan of the 3rd level subclass, but oh well. And then Ranger. And then Rogue.
We talked about that. Rogue, I think Rogue got more powerful. I like the way he's more powerful in different directions, but obviously there's a lot of give and take with it, you know?
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing for Rogue, I think Rogue expanded the most out of any of the Unearthed Arcana. I think Barbarian...
Yeah, which is weird.
I think Barbarian was probably the next closest. Barbarian had a lot of cool features that expanded it.
I will say I think Barbarian does get a bit more than the Rogue. I think the Barbarian has more changed up.
Yes, I would say it has more changed up, but I would say when it comes to like overhaul and like differences, I would say definitely the Rogue has the most, which is, like you said, it is odd. If anything, I would have expected the immense like increase in power and versatility to be for the Ranger if they were going to choose a class. But they're like, we should increase, man, the Rogue. Let's make that shit insane.
Yeah.
And it's like,
well,
what?
When we see the Monk, because I think Ranger and Monk were the 2 least played. Ranger by a lot the least played. I think Monk was next.
Okay.
So maybe when we see Monk, there's some changes there. Whatever, dude. They hurt my boy. I'm not happy.
Yeah. Also, Nathan said you'll never have a good Ranger in D&D, and honestly, well, no,
hey, Pathfinder's out there.
Hey, not base D&D, but wait until I get my hands on Ranger. I'll fix you.
Wait till I get my hands on Pathfinder, which I do, and Ranger's a lot better. But
all right, cool. Honestly, and then next time we'll just do Druid, Monk, Paladin, and then maybe if we have time, because this one I think we got through 4.
Yeah, we crushed them.
And honestly, we spent like 45 minutes on Rogue sitting there talking about all that stuff, which, rightfully so. There's a lot of differences and changes there. But I think if we can, Druid, Monk, Paladin next time, or next Unearthed Arcana dive, and then I would like to see if maybe we could check out some of the other things, maybe how conditions changed, maybe some spell differences and stuff. So we have a lot of content we can still pour through. So, but in the meantime, I think next week, our Tavernside Talks is going to be another monsters kind of overview and look into, and just talking about monsters, what's our favorite ones we like, ones that are crazy, things we change, whatever. And we're going to let Connor kind of take the seat a little bit and explain some of the monsters that he took from other content materials, source materials, and used for the Red Mire hunt. And he's going to kind of give us the breakdown and tell us how fucked up his brain is and how he's going to kill us all.
Doctor says you're all in danger.
Yeah.
It's it'll be a good time. I'm excited.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Also, Nathan, looking at the hunter subclass, they could literally just give you all of the options in it, and it'd probably still be weaker than other martial halfcasters. That's what I was saying.
Probably.
I'm going to do it.
It's better.
I was gonna say I'm gonna do it because I think it'll at least bring it up. I don't think it'll be close to Rogue by any means. I don't think it'll be close to some of the other ones, but I do think that at the very least that will help it greatly.
Oh yeah.
So, but we could talk about that at a later date. And so, yeah, we appreciate everyone for hanging out with us per the usual.
Yeah.
It's always fun to be able to dive into some of this stuff and get y'all's opinions and y'all's feedback, and we all just sitting here understanding some D&D and how to improve our game. So, cool.
It's always better to understand the D&D.
The D?
Especially what's coming down the pipe. I didn't mean to be that much into it. Here we are.
All right, well, we're gonna head out here before Connor continues to fall into delirium and say some other heinous shit. Also just real quick, we will be not having an arc. We'll not be having an arc episode because we are still kind of intermissioned from between arcs. But obviously, keep a lookout for the Twitch schedule for upcoming sessions, and then keep an eye out for the YouTube channel forum, whatever, to see updates there. And until next time, y'all take it easy, y'all stay safe, and we will catch you later.
We will see you later. Auf Wiedersehen.